You don't have on here approved agenda.
You guys didn't tell me to do that.
Will you get at it?
Yep.
Some meetings do that.
I know.
Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Play ball, right?
Yep. How about the minutes?
Okay. Gary made the motion and I'll second it.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
And that's the second time where I added a little more wood, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the only one I got.
I'm gonna
I
save
printed,
one,
I
and then,
threw that away.
okay, then this is the second one, you're good.
Yeah. You revised it right away before it got went out to the public, so. How about this, resolution we can discuss for the state trooper? You guys read that?
Yep.
Or-
I don't know what there is to discuss.
Yeah, I'm all for it.
I don't have a problem with it. I mean, they'll still use the highway number.
Yep.
It's just,
Be a placard somewhere.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't have any issue with it. You need a motion to approve
Yes,
the
and if I
the renaming
Yep.
of Highway 150 west of Benton, from West Union to Benton.
Yep.
Through
North
Benton
of Benton.
County. What's that? North of Benton, Benton County portion. Yeah. To the Sergeant Jim Smith Memorial Highway. That's my motion.
Okay,
Second.
by resolution,
Primer aye.
Your shake eye.
Seaman aye.
How many of these you need?
Two probably.
Well, I think just one, I'll send him back one, and then we'll have ours in a minute, but
Okay,
So where do you want to start it?
go ahead. You got yours?
and then if you wanna do number 4 while John's here, I have a resolution. Caitlin DeBrower, that's my fault for not putting her last name on there.
Sorry. I scribbled big.
That's fine.
Full time.
Full time.
What's Katie's last name?
DeBrower,
Oh, I can't even spell that.
DEBROWER. So she's been working for us since November of 21.
Warren.
What he said.
Very good. And this is under what department?
Under the sheriff's department, what would be building security, courthouse security.
Okay. Oh, out here.
Correct.
Yes.
Oh, yes, okay, yeah, okay.
At the rate of $23.24 an hour. And that would be by resolution.
I make a motion that we approve the employee status change for Katie Bauer.
DeBrower.
Brower, okay, to full-time, obviously. And that's my motion.
Second.
By resolution,
Primer aye.
Your shake eye.
Seaman aye.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Done deal.
That was painless, wasn't
It
it,
was.
John?
No wonder Ron's always so happy to come here to supervisors meetings.
When he's on time.
When he's not- I was on that.
You were.
Put that in the
Yeah.
minutes.
Is he snowmobiling?
So, yeah,
Oh,
he actually had to have some dental work done.
Yeah,
So he would much rather have been here.
I'm sure he would, yeah.
Mark.
Yes,
Lower your voice, would you?
I tried. I'd like for you to approve a farm exemption application for Michael Wheeler. He is in section 288310 of El Dorado. The picture that I gave you shows you a pond and a new driveway off of 24th Avenue. That's the driveway he's gonna use to get in there for his new house. His family, of which he is part of, owns 240 acres all through there. And they do corn, soybean rotation, and he'd like to build a house there.
I see no problem with that. Obviously, he's involved in the farming operation,
Is
so, yeah. Make a motion that land use change be
farm exemption.
farm
Get the farm exemption application.
exemption, okay. For Michael Wheeler,
Yes.
and he
Second.
approved it, yeah.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
Aye.
Thank you.
the parents must be John and Joyce.
No.
Joyce
Joyce.
is his mom. And it's in a life estate, correct?
Yes,
Okay, Joyce,
they're my
this
neighbors.
is Andrew and John, okay. Alright, cool.
You want this back, Mark?
Sure.
Of course she does.
I can use it for scrap paper because I. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. But don't get used to it.
I mean, thank you, Mark.
You're welcome.
How about the alcohol license for casinos?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Wow, 5 whole days. Make a motion we approve that Class C alcohol license for Casino Family Tree Farm.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Put your supervisor's budget in there as well. This one, double check. I have all 3 of you still on health. Rick, dental, vision, family. Tracy, family, vision, family, and Gary, you just have dental single, correct? Or did you want to change it? That's what I put in your mouth, so.
I would have the wife on there too.
On your dental? Okay, so you're gonna have to talk to Kirsten and tweak that, so I'll bump that up and that's just what you currently had.
When you said to Tracy, right, that's family wise.
Yes,
Yeah.
yep, Gary was the only one that had a single one on that one.
Okay.
You didn't have the vision, you just had health and dental. Okay. Cause that's
How much
how,
is the vision?
It is for a family, it's $91 a year for the county. It's $7.58 a month share, so.
I'll get back with you.
Okay. But right now I left it as is in the budget stuff for the month, so.
Any reports?
Later this week.
Yeah. What about you?
Nah, pretty quiet. I was pushing a pencil all weekend, different projects. But
That,
you guys did this. I come from DNR, passed up. That's about, Gary down Barstown, about, they're giving their blessing about moving that, tank closer to the road, so it's,
tank's already
Right
up.
away.
is it?
Yeah, the, parlor's already enclosed.
Okay, the parlor, but how about the tank?
Oh, I thought you meant the bulk tanks.
No. This is for the manure.
Oh,
It's the methane. We done this here, a couple months ago.
it's not,
Was it that long ago? Okay.
I think, well, it says in the letter there, I think September.
You just had something here recently too.
they don't have this tank up yet. There you go. They're putting up a new parlor though.
Mm-hmm.
The old parlor was supposed to last 10 years. It's been 20. I have had people ask about rock on the road. It's pretty, they're using it all the time. I'm not gonna say that any, it might be pretty bad this morning. I was about halfway up here and I thought, geez, I should have went out and looked at that. But, I mean,
As in the need for additional?
rock, yeah. People might get stuck with a car pretty quick.
Well, it's kind of out of the ordinary, the weather we were having.
Yeah, but that road's got an inordinate amount of traffic. They got their feet on the west side of the gravel road now. And, they're just taking the silage trucks all the time.
Sure.
Actually, really what it needs is paved. That's what it needs.
Now, Mark just sent us a copy of all what he did here for the last year, right?
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna take that to, our bureau meeting.
When is that?
If you get invited, they ain't been invited. Farm Bureau meeting.
No, we have not been invited yet.
That'll be next month.
Good morning.
Good morning. Am I ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So the first item I wanted to talk about was the wellness discount for having completed the wellness program. So I'm still waiting on information for those who don't have our insurance. They want to make sure some things are not discriminatory, so I don't have an answer on that. In talking with Nancy, I learned that we've actually been offering a $15 per month discount for those who do the pieces of the wellness program that get us a discount. So it's $15 per month regardless of the plan. And so that has been in effect, I guess, since 2018. So I would like to just continue that for now, and then I think we need to revisit offering a higher discount next year and raising premiums based on the increase and then discounting for those who complete it. But for this year, I wanted to just bring that to your attention as I was not aware we were doing that. So we do have the $15 in there, so.
Because in the past, that's,
Yes.
that paid us. So are they gonna continue to do
So
that?
they didn't actually pay for that specifically, so Nancy had mentioned that, so I've been talking with them, but no, even if they did, they said we can't use the money. What they pay us back for was the money they set aside for us for the incentives, and she told me what those payments were for. And it wasn't the premiums, it was for people who completed different stuff. Because I of course asked just to make sure, because I wanted to do the same. But she said that that's not what it was for, but even if we did do that, we couldn't do that this year, because I told you guys they made a bunch of changes. So, but I mean, it's not been reimbursed since I've been here, and I think
Well, because Kelly used to submit it and get it.
yeah, and it wasn't, I've talked to Molly, and it was, I don't have the exact, I have the information, but she said it was for the payments we got were for people who completed the items that they pay us back for. And then one of them was for the FICA, and then one of them was for 1 year. They did an extra, if you did 2 things, you got an extra $50. So it wasn't actually for the premiums, so. But I don't think it's impacted anything dramatically in terms of the
Sure.
reserve, et cetera.
So, do you need a motion to approve
I
the
like to continue.
continuance of?
We haven't done it in the past, have we?
No, and I just wanted to bring it to your attention since I did bring it up 2 weeks ago or whenever I was here,
Well, and
so.
I think a couple employees asked if that was gonna continue as well.
And I have some documentation that's gonna be going out with this
Sure.
pay stub that will highlight that, so.
Cool.
We'll make a motion just to continue.
I'll make a motion that we continue.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And for clarification, that's those that not only did the,
It's the physical and the wellness, which they're all pretty much the same, because if people did them, it's the people who did the physical and the online screening.
okay, because prior it was they had to do those additional things too.
Yeah, no, those don't get us a discount, so, and they've changed over the last 3 years, it's been different every year. Like 2018, we got a discount, people did a lunch and learn, like, they've changed it so dramatically since then and continue to change it. So it would be for the physical and online screening. And then I believe my budget, you guys I assume have copies of, there's no drastic changes on my budget, it's pretty much the same. The only thing I would like for next year, and I don't have details yet, is the Iowa Public Employer Labor Relations, or it's the national version of that. They have a conference for all governmental, like HR people that I want to attend, so I did increase the mileage and travel because it more than likely will be out of state. This year it's in Kentucky. I don't know where it would be next year, but that balanced out with furniture. Since I have stuff, I just moved $1,000 around, otherwise it's the same. Or close to the same. And I guess that's only an extra $500 for mileage and travel.
questions on it? Did either of you two have questions on it, budget?
Still looking at it, a little second.
Okay.
Good. Thank you.
Mary, have you ever attended the Heritage Agency Aging?
What's that?
Have you went to any of the Heritage Agency board meetings? That's the one they called and were concerned that nobody ever shows up for that one. Is that something you wanna continue, or do you want us to find somebody that wants to go though? Cause they want participation,
I can do it.
so you'll have to
They don't ever send me a notice.
send you an email. Cause they have your information.
I just got it.
For the last couple of years, you've never received one? And maybe I'll give you this guy's phone number, do you wanna contact them?
I think we're having some this week.
Is there a meeting this week?
I don't know, I don't think it was, he just called. Wait. been 2 months ago, that was it. Forgot about it.
I'm looking.
I figured you were.
You get those ISAC emails to you about legislation, they start sending those out again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Those are always kind of interesting.
Yeah, especially they wanna do, we just went through last week.
The comp board.
Mhm.
We don't need to do anything with this.
Wanting to do away with that.
No,
Gino source. It's just
yeah, just,
For our records.
yep, for your records, that's why I gave it back to you.
And do we have, on here, item 10 is the maintenance budget, but I don't see one in our book.
It wouldn't surprise me, this was put together yesterday when I was working. 50 right left. I'll, make your girls send them.
Thank you.
You know Kevin Black?
Who?
Kevin Black. He's with the Cedar Rapids Association now.
I'll do that.
Easy Cloud, DOT.
And I presume this is the sheet here for relief?
Yes,
She brought that.
yes.
Okay,
Sarah
but we
did.
don't have a tab in here for it though.
No, it's between, mental health and, the hub.
This is,
Well, her budget sheets are. But that she just brought into us.
Well, here's mental health.
I ran out of tabs, so.
Oh,
What hers. Just about that. Sure. There's really,
okay, thank you.
just running out of tabs.
That's fine.
Relief hub and.
Okay,
Yes, Sarah
okay,
just brought that up.
perfect, thank you. I'll bend the corners or something.
I was recycling on those other things, so I didn't spend money on them. I don't know what you guys think of binders from prior years, I could probably use some of those from that last year. I just recycle all that and start fresh next
You're
year.
welcome.
Unless you guys want them in a different format, not
No,
No, looks good, yeah.
well, we done left it there, but I can look back,
there.
even though you got it, you know, I mean,
History there,
yeah. But I got notes for when, you said she's towards the back. Yep.
Binders, Gary?
There's mental health.
Yep, it's between the hub and the
Yep,
round.
there it is.
There. Let's go on two more.
Good morning, young lady.
Morning, how you guys doing?
It's any better than to have be two of me. You believe that, right?
You guys tell me when you're ready. And you want me to speak,
Good looking, yeah.
just checking with them.
Oh, we just found it.
Who?
Haley had to point it out to us.
She's gonna put a tab in her phone. A really tab. Can you find it?
I forgot maintenance on it, so.
Oh.
Because hers, I forgot to print, so.
Oh, seriously.
Yep.
Where is this?
Do you want me to print that?
No,
The janitors are bringing it when they come.
Okay.
This is me after yesterday trying to put it all together.
It's your Monday. I feel like I need to move those pictures without them. Just send them.
Yeah, you good. Got a special place you want to hang them? Those command strips, would they work?
And I'm afraid that like if they fall, they'll break, because one did,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. I think Carol tried to put one up in there and it came off the wall.
Okay, Sarah,
All right,
start at her.
okay. So I kind of went through last year's. Last year's a little wonky just because I think of COVID. So last fiscal year, we helped 5 applicants with rent amount of $1,667.50. We helped 3 with utilities, $539.45. We helped 3 funeral homes with cremation services in the amount of $3,795. And 1 with the fuel assistance in the amount of $50. And as I stated, the amount of assistance was so low, and I think it was just due to other resources being available to folks. Even the funeral homes, I think, were getting some assistance, because that was odd. It just looks weird, I know it does, but I feel like we're going to start seeing, it's gonna change, it'll turn around again.
And so that's why I kind of did a breakdown of what we've already done so far. You can kind of already see we're kind of picking up there. Rent, we've already helped 6 in the amount of $2,220. Utilities, we've helped 2, 304.74. And then to keep in mind right now is the moratorium is going on. People are receiving light heat energy assistance. And then we've already helped 3 funeral homes in the amount of $3,945. One thing I did think of that I didn't put on there that we added last year, I believe, this year might have been the first year we used it. We were gonna see how we could kind of help out transportation if we needed to. I only assisted one person, and I went through Dean to do that and it was only $10. I feel like the only way that is going to work, because I feel like we only put like 200 or something in the budget for that, is literally if that person needed to come from the jail or what have you, and they'd have to take that shuttle. Otherwise, I think that budget would be gone, just because of that price. It's only $10 to get there. If they went at any other time during the day, it'd probably, it'd be a lot more. So I know that Mona and I have talked about that, and we're looking at that. We're not providing transportation for folks. Like, I'm not going to take them anywhere. So I think that's why we've only used that once. They're still trying to figure that out. Yeah. Do you guys have any questions? I didn't do any changes, I don't think, this year. I just kind of felt like I wanted to keep it the same, just to see how things are gonna be this year.
It actually went down a little bit on your budget.
A little bit.
Yeah.
So,
I was thinking you give somebody gas money, though, do you?
yep,
Well,
that was the
that's what
10.
$50 was.
Yeah. Yep.
I remember we had a discussion about
We
that.
did, yep, that was last fiscal year.
Okay.
Yep.
Remember.
Oh, and I did buy envelopes. I've been doing that every other year, but stamps are going up. So
Pretty
the postmaster in town here helped me, so I didn't have to wait for them, because it can take weeks just to get it, because everything's online now and I don't have a credit card, and I don't plan to get one, but I don't need one. So he worked with me, and I just had to wait a few days, and he got me 500 envelopes and stamped them. I just didn't put Benton County Social Services on them. And we kind of just split it with MHDS as well. And that's part of why I didn't, because that way if they want to put a different label on them, on theirs, we can do that.
Sure.
But that worked out nice, being able to do it locally. So yeah, I did use my mail budget. I know it looks like I haven't in a while, but I've kind of been able to do it like every other. But, yeah.
Okay. Guess we'll go to your relief budget now.
Yeah.
Well, like Rick said, you went down. Awesome.
Yeah.
The only one in the county, you should be proud.
Oh, well, thanks. Yeah. I think it helps, trying to refer people onto other places and trying to keep us as, funder of last resort. Working with Salvation Army has helped a lot. Trying to really get people to work with housing services through Waypoint. Waypoint does cover Benton County. Somebody has been telling somebody that they do not cover Benton County. They do. They are our representative for housing services, for homeless services, so people need to go through them first if they're looking for housing and they're homeless. We aren't a housing necessarily a housing service. So I've really been trying to work with folks and getting them to work with Waypoint.
Well, in the past, like when you first started on the funeral services, were they higher back then?
They were a lot higher. In fact, there was a year, it might have been the year I was doing the budget myself the first time. I think we were over, and we had to supplement, you know, from other places, which we've got that cushion. But, yeah, so it's weird. I feel like the pandemic has just made things weird. A lot. But people are coming in now. I'm seeing a lot more people face to face. I think having Abby Center down the hall has helped. They refer a lot of people down to me, and even if we're not funding them, we're still, you know, meeting with people and making referrals and things of that nature. Yeah.
It's good.
And I'm trying to keep a closer eye on what I do for GA because I know I'm only at like 11%. I'm like, oh my God, how can I only be at 11%? But I do think it is part of the pandemic, but it's also, I need to like, just remember any little phone call I get, I need to like mark it and make sure that I'm tracking. So that way we do have a really good picture of what I'm doing on this side of my job. Yeah, because I'm sure that there's just times maybe I'm just not thinking of it, I need to mark it down. So I'm trying to do that harder. One of my goals this year, if you guys are okay with that, I've been researching other counties to see what like the policies and procedures manual looks like for general assistance. It's never been updated. And so I am thinking of going up to helping folks up to 100% instead of 75 now that inflation and things like that. Landlords here are asking a lot more for rent. That doesn't mean I'm, you know, I still kind of like the up to $500. I don't really want to go over that, but I feel like maybe we're missing some folks now that finances have changed for folks. But, yeah.
Okay, now we'll go to your revenue.
All right. So my revenue usually comes from income offset. So those are folks that never made their payments for general assistance, and I have to turn that in. And I can collect that whether it's through their income tax refund, casino winnings. I've had one of them. That's the only one I've ever had. And then I think those are the other ways, but I did have one girl that paid hers off this past fiscal year. That was good. And she was really proud of that. So,
Nice.
yeah. Yeah. The FSP, I don't have any of that yet. I just put it in here just in case.
It's a guessing game.
It just does. And they did offer, I think, last year, but the deadline was so tight. Oh my gosh.
To get it and spend it.
Yeah, like I don't think I'd have had the time. I probably could have just given it all to the food pantry like I have, but just the process it takes and the timing needed to be right. So, yeah.
I don't know how they base that on. Do you know how much money they get every year? Because it varies. But how do they base
Well, that was a learning experience for me that one year where they offered me so much, but I didn't have it in my budget. So even if they offer it to me, I have to come back, and I'm working with a girl in Des Moines now, and I'll just let her know, this is all I have in my budget, so I appreciate that you want to give me X amount of dollars, but this is all that I can accept, and she's been working with me.
that? I mean, because if that's a problem, I mean, we would just have to amend for
To
your
amend.
spending, but,
Yeah,
so if it's something you wanna guesstimate high, if we
okay,
don't spend it, we don't spend it, because
sure,
that's a special fund anyway.
yeah,
So for future, I would just maybe cushion that one a little so we don't have that.
okay, yeah,
So if you wanna still do that for this year.
okay, oh, and make it a little higher just in
Because
case.
that one's not a levy
Okay.
fund anyway.
Right.
Right, yeah, it's nice when we get it, it's kind of fun,
Yeah, I would, just, that way you're
Okay.
covered,
okay,
so if you wanna tweak that one.
all right. Yeah, I think I get a lot of pleasure out of that one, because you can help a lot of the folks that are, receive SSI and SSDI. I can't do that, I have to turn them away, so. opens up a little further.
And that one being used towards utilities and stuff on too.
Utilities, rent, and first month's rent, which is nice.
Deposit to get them started somewhere.
The only thing I still can't use for that one is even if they get subsidized housing, I still can't pay rent, because they're still getting a benefit there.
Yeah.
They're a subsidy, but I can help with utilities on there.
I would say especially this next year, I don't know if things will be tough for more people, but I'd rather we have the.
Have it just in case.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And if inflationary trends for 2 years in a row is not enough. Yeah,
Going to the grocery store is hard.
yeah, I'm surprised you don't have more transportation
I know,
assistance, honestly.
yeah,
$50 on gasoline, that doesn't hardly fill the tank.
right, exactly, right now, yeah.
It does your tank. Okay, go.
I don't have any more questions.
Okay, thanks you guys.
Thank you. Morning, George.
Morning.
Graduated with my son.
Ben did talk to me on the key card things.
Okay,
Probably just you, we're comfortable with the department head, if that's okay.
that's fine.
Otherwise, we just have too many that are in and out, and then security guys don't really, they're not familiar with
Right.
everyone either.
Yeah.
So I'd rather they come through the other way.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. I mean, if they want an ID thing, that's, we could do something like that, it just wouldn't work on that.
Right. Okay.
So we can call back in time.
Okay. That's perfectly fine. So.
Go ahead, start.
So on my new budget here, I did a lot of consolidation. So a lot of the numbers seem higher, but there's some duplicates in both the weed commission, weed commission service area and the road clearing service area that I just add the numbers together and then put them into either the weed commission or the road clearing service area. Other than that, that's really one of the biggest changes that I've had. Did increase the budget about 3%. It's actually a little bit less than 3%.
On
That-
wages.
Yeah, on wages. So that was the main thing that I changed.
Do you have a budget in here for the IRM?
IRBM,
Yeah.
I didn't see anything.
We do not. Both the weed commission and the road clearing service areas both fund the IRM duties that we do for our county. And that's something that
Where's the road clearing then?
road clearing,
We just have the weed.
it would be,
It's still built in his, it's in
Yeah.
a different service area, there's functions that start with 6, and then the functions that start with 7. And this is all within one department.
Okay, okay. Is fuel gonna be enough? You only increased that about $1,000.
this year we haven't spent that much on fuel. I think it should be plenty for what we're gonna be doing.
We didn't have the help this past year.
But I think that should be plenty enough.
Just thinking fuel's gonna go down.
Gotta hope so.
And chemicals and gases went down a little bit since, our provider for our chemicals for the county, has been under, that $70,000 range. I bumped it down a couple $1,000s, just to kind of offset some other, line items that we feel like would be necessary to have that funding in.
We move the fuel out of the one over to the other,
Mm-hmm.
so okay,
Yeah.
that made it, there you picked up the $1,000.
Right.
Okay, I see it. Okay,
Yep.
sorry. What'd you find out on the radios?
Radios, that was, I would talk to Scott Hansen and, I think according to, I guess, he said that you guys would talk about it that Thursday. I'm not sure if you guys did, that day. But,
You guys are going with handheld, right?
yeah,
Yeah, see, they were gonna get a count on them 2 weeks ago. On a hand, they wanna keep them separate instead of throwing them all together.
right.
The radios that are in the trucks, fire department, sheriff, they wanna keep them fully separate. Handheld is this, this number, and then the trucks are over here. That way,
Okay,
I kinda agree with it. That way they can't say, well, wait a minute, this is what you wanted.
right,
We're gonna keep it separate this way.
okay.
So the next thing that they're working on is how many trucks,
Mhm.
cars, pickups, fire trucks, ambulances.
Yeah.
Cause you got a grant, didn't you, for some handheld?
We got a grant for some safety protective, or it's hearing protective and two-way radios.
Okay.
That way you can just talk into a microphone and it talks to the person that's outside of the skid loader or,
Which is
I see.
separate from the other, okay.
Page 2, if you got them there.
Mhm.
Okay, page 2, all the way third from the bottom. Agra, horticulture, ME, what's that?
so that would be, where we take like our spray system out of and our, chipper out of. That would be funding for any of those type of expenses.
Okay, machinery,
Yeah.
in other words. Got it.
But you've got less in there this year than this budget than you had last year.
Right. The reason for that is we're expected to get our chipper this upcoming year. And then we have enough in the budget to fund, our spray system inside of next year's budget or this year's budget, whichever one, whenever we can get it.
Now, refresh my memory. Back when Ben was here,
Mhm.
I remember they showed us the tank, the new sprayer,
Mhm.
and he wanted a new truck.
Mhm.
I don't remember, what do we do? Is it coming?
The spray system?
Yeah,
So that is kind of dependent upon when our truck comes. Since we did order the truck, we need to get a flatbed for that and also have it be a dump body. That way, because we'll be doing that with it's a dual purpose truck in order to do chipper operations and roadside spraying. So it's all kind of dependent on when our truck comes. I contacted Ford before Christmas time. They said that it's expected to be built in this month in January. So need to get back in contact with them to make sure that everything is,
that was a regular cab, right?
yeah, regular cab.
Okay.
It's a 4500 with a regular cab.
That one you don't need CDL.
No.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be the wave of the future.
Yeah, and in the motor vehicle line item, which is the second one from the bottom on page 2, I put 60,000 into motor vehicle. The reason for that is we'd be looking at switching out our spray trucks this upcoming year, possibly. I've been in contact with the shop foreman, and those trucks are becoming kind of outdated with parts now.
What
Can't get parts.
years are they?
They are 98.
98s?
So
Some age on them.
How many miles they got on them?
less than 100,000, I believe, or right around 100,000. And the reason we also want to kind of look at replacing those is because those do require CDL to drive. Any of the future trucks we'd be looking at either a 5500 or a 4500 series truck.
5500 series you can get by without a CDL.
Yeah, it all depends on payload and gross vehicle.
Make it easier getting part-time help.
Yeah.
Sure would.
Probably should only need one part-time helper.
Correct, currently because of CDL.
Yeah.
But if they get away from the CDL, we won't have to worry about, getting part-time help with the CDL.
You got a CDL, I know.
Yep.
How about the other two guys?
So they're currently still working on their
Working on their-
CDLs.
See, if Dean gets that deal through, it's gonna make it really nice.
Oh, a lot handier.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's what's, oh, the,
That he could be an instructor.
you can do that to our.
Yeah.
Cause yeah, it's very costly right now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
I did find one class that was with Northland CDL out of Mason City. It's actually the cheapest option that I've found, around $800, but it's still pretty pricey for what it
What's a
is.
one-day class or two?
So they provide you with online courses, because now you have to take an online course
Okay.
in order to get it. Then you have to go up there, practice, and then you have to test with the DOT.
And you have to take this course to get a CDL.
Yep.
Yep.
Yes. What's the name of that again?
Northland CDL.
Northland?
Yep. Out of Mason City.
Where you went?
Yep. The one thing I will caution, since they are doing it with the DOT, you won't have to worry about this, but if you go through a third-party tester now, you have the chance of getting audited through the state, which is what happened to me this past year. So it doesn't matter if you took it 30 years or 2 days after, they can still audit you and test you on your CDL. Yeah.
So what, can they come in and make you retest or?
Mhm. Yeah, and if you fail, then they can yank your CDL from you.
I don't have any more questions.
I'm good.
Been busy cutting trees then?
Yep, we've been helping secondary roads. Just
Oh, really?
Yep, we actually just stopped up there to see if they needed help this morning.
Yeah.
With the rain, it's been too muddy to get equipment down in there. But
Mhm.
the Mount Auburn boat ramp up by Winnegar Park there.
Yeah.
We've been clearing trees along that road, that stretch of road there.
Oh, I saw some piled up
Yep.
along there.
Yep.
So then what do they do with those piles?
They burn them. So we've been, Randy gave me a call the other day, basically asking if we could take our skid loader up there. We were up there after lunch, which that same day after lunch, I sent my guys up to go cut on 11th Avenue. But got the skid loader loaded up and grab trees that they cut down so their machine can grab hold of them and nip them up and pile them. So,
Well, good.
Yep.
It's good to hear that you're working.
yeah.
with them.
Yep, and then we do have I did talk with conservation, we do have some work weeks planned to get some maintenance done out on the roadsides and also in the parks as well, to help them out.
It's good to see this interdepartment
Correct.
working.
Correct.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's pretty much what's been going on. A lot of budget work, we got our spray truck completely finished, the pump.
Oh,
That was,
fixing it.
yep, fixing it. That was quite the deal there, so got that taken care of.
It
And
froze, didn't it?
yep, froze, and then we found other issues with it. Water must have gotten the oil and rusted the inside of the pump, and the camshaft was worn on the pump, so crankshaft, yeah. So got it all fixed up and taken care of and ready for spray season next year.
But you got 2 trucks though, right?
Yep.
Yeah, water in the oil doesn't do anything being good.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a lot of metal flakes inside that oil. It held a magnet up there, and the paper towel just stuck to the magnet, so figured we'd better fix it while we have it off the truck, so. But other than that, been keeping busy.
That's good to hear. That's good to hear. Have you helped any of the maintainers on any of the roads before we got the snow?
No.
Okay.
The reason, well, I've been in contact with Randy. He's the guy who I've been in most
Going
contact
through
with.
him.
Yep.
Got it.
So
Got it.
been running through him just to keep
Okay.
things on a good basis there. So
Okay.
Well, it's best if you just have one point of contact anyway.
right.
That way you don't have 6, 8 people trying to pull you different
Right.
directions, yeah.
So and then our next RVM meeting is this upcoming Friday. So this week. So
At night
5:30.
here?
Yep. At our office. down
Oh,
there.
your office.
Yep. So, yeah, everything's going pretty good and it's going along smoothly.
Good.
All right. I have no more questions. That's all mine.
Okay. All right, well, thank you.
Thanks, Wes.
Don't forget your hat.
Have a good day.
You too.
See you later.
See ya.
Have a good one.
Can we do our budget at this time?
Yeah, you can, I have it on there, so whenever.
Because ours shouldn't take long. Okay, where is our budget?
It should be towards the front. I think it's behind the wages, I put it for you. I don't have a tab for yours, but it should.
County supervisors.
Yeah.
Right,
Perfect.
isn't it?
Yep.
Department 1, is you guys.
Yep.
You were close, Gary, keep going. Should be either right after the wages or before that tab there. I'm still keeping the cost pretty low
Yes, you
by
are.
minimizing, if you look at prior history,
Yeah.
by me doing those 2 sets of minutes.
We should be able to get a discount for all the people. I am surprised how many people read that in the library.
I am,
Minutes.
yeah,
Yeah.
versus
Bounce
the other.
me, you know, well, this weekend I had somebody jump me about the 28E agreement that we did with Norway, he, couldn't understand what it was about. Well, when I explained it to him, there's over the road that the population went down and.
Yeah.
Oh. They thought it was something totally different. I think you did a good job with it.
If I just put the reflection in the wages and
Yep.
then the insurance basically like I discussed earlier.
Yep.
So Gary, I'll just have to let me know if you change yours. But you probably have enough cushion in another line item, you should be fine.
You haven't had anything in the planning and management forever.
We did that a couple years ago when we had ECOG come in and you guys talked about doing the zoning stuff. But then also, I know with that survey.
Yeah.
So I don't know, that's the line item you guys, I did reduce it down a little bit, but.
Because it had been at 10 grand, then it was nothing.
Yeah, because you guys said you weren't doing anything last year.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to
Then
push
it
in
went
there.
to
then-
5. Well,
And
Myron
I
said,
think we messed, didn't we change that from the attorney's budget from the legal court related, he had a line item and you guys took it back one time.
right.
So that's
Right.
fluctuated the last couple times too.
Okay.
But that would be where you would pay for such a thing.
On the planning and management.
If you were to hire a consultant to do. Like come in and look at our land use plan or, like the engineering firms type.
Yeah, I don't see anything that needs tweaked.
And they just changed the description from districts, flip flopped on those, the top 3 or whatever.
Yeah.
I know when maintenance comes in too, there's some line items in theirs that ultimately we can add to it, like for Cedar Valley Ranch projects, because that's all kind of within that one. So if we can think of them, but she made it sound like they were content, right?
Yep.
So, maybe they didn't put much in there. I usually do a little bit just in case something comes up.
We're probably gonna have to get that on the agenda one of these days.
Well, we have to get together.
Yeah.
Or, I was kind of shooting for probably after the budget's done,
Which is
when we
fine.
could devote some time to it.
Okay.
I got that on my golden board to do at home.
I saw that letter in here from them too, they're reminding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another to-do list.
Yeah.
And then we were trying to remember, did we fulfill that lease thing, we need to double check it, Great Walls, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember, did we do the lease with the old school? You come in and presented, but I don't know that we had a
I
final.
don't know that we did the lease, did we?
We did the lease for 1 year. What I remember,
Well, we,
because he wanted to go 3 years or even 5 years, and David at that time says, well, if you're gonna do that, then you're gonna have to advertise it and put it out for bids for everybody else. So to get around that, he just said, we'll do it 1 year. I'm thinking that's what we did.
I don't remember if we actually signed anything.
Yeah, I'm positive we did, but, later on I can give Greg a call.
Well, usually he's pretty on top of it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When's that up?
Now, if we did
It
for
was
a
a
year,
year-to-year
It's just
basis.
year to year,
Yeah.
yeah.
When he was in giving the update.
yeah,
That's what I thought, it was just year to year.
yeah, 'cause I know he wanted 3 years or 5 years, he would keep going.
I wonder if we could put a clause in there that it automatically renews unless either
Yeah, we
party,
could do.
yeah. That'd be
We
kinda
could do.
nice,
Yeah.
as long as it gets us,
I can't remember, I just ran into him there a couple weeks ago, and I told him, I said, one of the things I'm gonna do this spring is get good power out here to the shed, everything that's
Rockford.
Yeah, farmer way.
I don't see anything here,
The only thing I seen in here that we don't have anything in here, the more I kinda thought about it, I kinda like it the way it is right now, it's my opinion. Remember here a couple years ago, I got a bid, but like a countertop and,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
you know, all that. There's nothing in here in the next year's, but, and I don't wanna take that on this year.
It'd be really nice to have some file cabinets.
Well, that's what I was
That's what I'm
wondering.
thinking, we could find some probably within somewhere, somebody's got it. Also, that made me think of this, with the microphones, Ben's been playing with this, trying to make it more, to hear it better.
Yeah,
He found, this wireless cable microphone, some kind of thing, instead of we set out, and it'll help you for
Oh, really?
from the meeting. But we thought maybe 2 of these, I don't know, I don't honestly really go back and listen to them much, but I've heard they're hard to understand,
they are.
Yeah,
so
yeah. Well,
Something
I've watched
you
them
guys-
several times.
you guys probably have enough in your budget currently, I could find it to pay this.
Okay.
I just wanted to double check, he come up with a receiver, and then he thought maybe 2 of these to set out. What are your thoughts on that? Try it.
Don't mumble anything under your breath, right?
Well,
You're right.
these actually have a mute button, so say the conversation's over here, you can mute it.
Ah.
So that it tries to just pinpoint the area of the room.
Sure. And that's for the,
It's for all
the live
these to work
streaming,
together.
yes.
But Ben did some research and come up with a few ideas, but,
Right now, you're pulling off of this.
No,
right?
this
No,
is separate.
that's totally separate?
Yep.
Okay.
what's live stream is the 2 cameras and the iPad. So on here, you can direct, cameras kind of jump around, it's just trying to go to the room. This is just a backup, it's on the audio.
Okay.
In case something happened here, it's still on here, but just thought I'd bring that up. You guys want to try something new?
As long as we ain't gotta hit mute or anything, I'm all for it.
You don't have to, but it does have that option.
Okay.
It'll never get hit.
Or you'll mute it and you'll forget to unmute it.
Right.
But,
Right. There's 2 of them now.
well, that's what we thought we'd try. He's just trying to, I mean, without spending a lot, he wants to try to get it
I was thinking over there.
on that side. But, yeah. Well, if you guys are okay with it, I trust him in his judgment to try to find us something to work.
Okay,
Sure.
I'm giving my blessing, so.
Why not?
Second.
Like I said, it's currently, I mean, you have enough in other line items. Cause you really, I use all my office supplies for you guys, as you can tell,
Mhm.
paper and that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't put it out of your budget.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, check it out, or get it rolling.
And we'll have all the other counties like it.
We'll enjoy it. Both
Actually,
of those sitting, one on your left and one on your right.
I'm thinking one over there and one right there. I can just mute.
Well, you're gonna have to have them closer if you're gonna mute.
Can't hear my mumbling under my breath, but you might be able to see my eyes. Also in the back of your books, I put, Virginia Day Hospital's budget request, pay caps is in there.
Okay.
Pay cap is gonna come present, some of them are sending them to me, but might not be on the agenda for a few weeks, but at least you have them.
Okay, in the back.
Yep. A couple cities have been countered on the libraries. We have a few new librarians. I talked to Benton and Atkins. They were looking at their allocation, what part of that comes from rural services and some of it comes from the lost fund. So I don't know that they're gonna come and ask for additional, but think they're just wanting a clearer idea of how much they get to. It's been a few years when the library board committee requested that additional. You didn't get it before you, that's where we did
Yeah, I
that.
was gonna say.
Because the
it's been a
two-
while. Yeah,
Shelburne and Atkins got additional from Lost. So I don't know if that's something they're gonna do, but for now, I just gave them what we currently provide. And then we still need to decide on that river deal for this fiscal year too.
I think since they've been helping people from the county, I feel obligated that we will.
Is that how it was just, I think there's enough in there currently, it's just we didn't.
well, and that was the recommendation from the sheriff,
Yeah.
so, yeah, I don't see a problem with it,
Yeah.
yeah,
I feel obligated, they help.
exactly. You know, when they weren't doing anything here, it was a different story.
Well, and they're always like, to come in and. open
people are
the talk
slow.
about it too, so. Thank you.
More hole punches, hopefully they're on the floor.
No, I watched her dump them in the garbage.
Alright. Everybody gets on, this is maintenance.
All of them?
Yeah, so one set. It's yours. There you go.
Thank you.
I was just telling them some of those line items in here, like for the Cedar Valley Ranch or other outsources. That if we thought of any other projects to go in there, but I think the ranch told us they were good.
Oh, okay.
I put,
But I know we put a little in there, but I know that one year we had to put extra for the roofing and things like that.
I still got 70 in it.
Oh, you did for the Cedar
Yeah,
Valley
because
Ranch?
what it's supposed to be
Well, they were supposed to do some window
Windows
stuff,
for the
but,
last 3 years,
Mhm.
2 years.
but to me, she made it sound like they were content for now, right?
Yeah, pretty well. They were more worried about them bump outs when the windows are,
Well, and that's kind of
the
what,
siding and all that, and I haven't stopped
okay, so
since we
maybe,
were out there at that meeting, so.
maybe leave it as a cushion.
Yes, yeah, I left it because nobody said not to.
And that's on your budget?
It's in here, it's
Yeah,
under
it's
that
fine.
Cedar Valley Ranch line item.
Okay.
Yeah.
Should be the bottom of the first page.
How come that, is that just because it's a basic maintenance?
It goes under grounds and
We'll have
maintenance.
you mow one out there too.
Oh, go. Why not? It can't be rougher or dustier than what it is here.
Guess they should have got the 6 foot. Right?
Bigger deck.
Go
Yeah.
You'll
Go
be
for
getting
a
round
weed.
up from the weed commissioner.
I'm gonna go for the 17-foot wing mower again, what I'm used to mowing on.
Go with the barrel swell.
We
Yeah.
just get a sprayer and round up, get some spray paint.
We do need to do some more mulch around the courthouse this year too.
Yeah.
I think I figured that in already.
Okay.
I figured we
I
were.
figure about every couple of years that needs a little bit.
Okay, well, we might as well start at it since we're pretty frazzing each other here.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, I think that's why we got fertilizer and seed up there. No, that was for the plugging it up for seeding.
otherwise, there's, I don't think,
Did Ron get a hold of you about the true?
Yeah, he called me
Okay.
Friday.
Question, so
Sure.
I see it now. The new furnace.
Yeah.
Is it more efficient than the old gal?
can't tell, can't get a steady run on it. The temperature's not hot or cold. It just should be. I won't know till, but this winter's so mild.
Yeah, I was gonna say what I was impressed or happy with that cold weather that she kept up.
Yeah.
I was worried about that.
They wanted to come in yesterday and finish up putting that feed water tank in. And I said, if you can't get it done today, we're gonna wait. Cause I wasn't gonna leave the building without heat for who knows how long. So they couldn't guarantee a day to get it in, so
So you're gonna wait till next summer to do it?
probably till spring or, yeah. I don't wanna be down. Like I said, it would've worked good yesterday if they could've guaranteed they'd have it done and running yesterday, but you can't leave the book. Well, I'm not gonna go like what happened this fall and not have heat in there for how many days again.
You know, the worst part of it is,
Might get hypothermia, you know.
they'll start putting it in and they won't have some part or something, and then,
Well, by then they should have it, yeah, but yeah, you never know what can happen when you're rushing it in a day, what's gonna happen. And they had conflict down in their office, cause Ron Estemius was gonna be doing the installing, and he knew it was gonna take longer in the day, but the boss down there thought they could do it in a day. Those are the guys that don't leave the office to do the work.
well, I think there's a lot of people in the courthouse that are happy.
As long as they're warm.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's hard to say what the efficiency is gonna be on it, but this winter would get cold, it'd be winter time, and that will.
I'm all for saving my LP.
I'm all for not having cold temperatures.
People. I get 2 months out of my LP.
Is that enough for the electrical supplies, page 2 in the back?
Yeah. Cause now I'm down to just emergency lights and,
Oh, you're on that supplemental,
Yeah,
there's some on the front page too.
oh, there is?
Yeah, that's
They do quite a bit, so go, yeah. There you go.
It's also on the front page 2?
Yep.
Electrical?
Yep.
Electric, light, and power.
oh,
cause that, yeah,
that's what we're trying, hopefully we put in enough. They increased quite a bit this year, City of Benton did.
Yeah, that's your utilities.
Yeah, that's all the
Yeah,
utilities,
yeah,
actually.
You increase.
Hopefully we increase-
$3,500.
How much?
3,500.
Yeah.
is that enough?
Hell, I don't know.
You don't either.
How
They're
do you
hard,
guess?
it's hard to keep up with them.
I was hoping to give us a letter saying, plan on
The fuel
20% more.
surcharge that they hit you so hard. And
Yeah, and we did the up the gas last year, now that was worked out pretty good, but yeah, with the utilities, they changed this summer.
So your agriculture and horticulture on page
Yep.
2 is up $7,000.
That, I priced let's see, it's split in the two.
Yeah, I was gonna say on page 3 it went up
Uh,
$4,000.
Update the lawnmower possibly.
We talked,
Oh, okay.
we talked to,
But I think that's no trade-in value.
Okay.
They won't do that until we give a decision, and that was a rough guess.
Yeah,
I got 2 different brands.
okay.
And then the drop spreader's supposed to be in there
yeah,
too.
drop spreader for the salt.
Okay.
We
That's been a year out, we've been waiting on that for a year.
Is that one that goes behind the tractor?
Yeah, and that's just gonna drop instead of the rotary, it's throwing it all over,
Sure,
that plugs all the time.
yeah.
It's cobbled right.
Well, I'm imagining that a drop spreader's gonna plug too.
Yeah, it's just, I like it for the fact you don't put a lot of it out in the yard, it stays kind
Oh, I
of.
get that. Yeah.
We've been waiting a year, almost a year on that.
I'm just a little concerned that under the lawnmower portion that's gonna be enough money.
12,000.
We've-
It's split
Well,
in
you got
two.
11,000
It's in 2 sections, remember? It's in the,
General stuff too.
increase. So you've got 11,500 here and almost 5 there. Then,
yeah, 11,500 to the lawnmower, and then 4,500 was supposed to be the price of that spreader.
49.50 you got over here.
Yep.
So,
Plus, we got trade-in value too.
yeah.
And so we had two prices for two different brands.
How is the other one? Is it worn out?
It's,
Seems age.
it's getting to where it's gonna need some stuff. I just thought we'd replace it before, why we could get something for it.
Is there enough room in the shed for two?
That's just what I was wondering.
At our shed, no.
No. That was one of the things I'd like to talk to Ron about, is to get maybe a stall next to us. I talked to him once about it. Used to have a portable generator in there, that would pull behind one. And I don't think they use it anymore. He was gonna get back to it, but I never got back to him either. About possibly having that, and then we take the wall out in the middle, and we have those two stalls.
With the tractor now, we can limit it on, by the time we put everything,
Yeah.
we don't have enough room for all of it.
You're thinking we want us to keep it?
What's in the shed over here then, east of the courthouse? Where the recycling stuff is.
That's where the snow blower goes, cover for air conditioner, wagon, file cabinet,
Wagon.
yeah, pull behind wagon.
There's a wagon, little wagon in there,
A
Yard.
small trailer.
little yard cart,
Yeah.
basically.
And then it's got a big huge ramp of concrete, so you're limited on what we can drive in there. I can't get the tractor in there, I know that. And that's where we stick the lawnmower in the winter.
No room in there either then.
We can make room.
So is the lawnmower separate from the one where you push the snow?
Yeah, we just have a
Yeah.
separate zero-turn mower. And then the tractor we just leave with the attachments on it and no more of that.
You never know when you're gonna have more lawn.
Well,
Well, I'm just saying that a month ago, I was dealing on trading my lawnmower off. They don't give you nothing for it. You know what I mean? It might-
Yeah, but did it have green paint on it?
Yes,
or-
it did.
Oh, it did? Okay.
I guess we can cross that bridge once we get,
yeah.
for sure, and
not there.
I
Yeah.
ask Benton and
Yeah,
ask them both, then give you guys the numbers and you can say yay or nay.
yeah.
Mhm.
I'm leaning on, you know where it is, you had it brand new,
And it's not the end of the road.
yeah. If you got room for it, put it in a hole, I said, the only thing it'll cost you 9 times out of 10 is the battery, cause you ain't using it enough, and when you wanna get on it,
Yeah, it's 9 years old, so it's probably due for one.
yeah.
Oh, gosh, yes.
So I just a thought, and then there again, like I said, that worst scenario that if you had two of them, hey,
Yeah.
Tuesday's lawn mowing day,
Well,
we're gonna
yeah,
come over to the supervisors, so they can't be heard on the speakers, the new speakers that we're gonna get.
but
Hey, you approved it.
that's, like I said, that's just, I mean, what we were thinking about.
Okay.
And we do have other projects that we would like to tackle this year.
We ever got the frozen window done
No.
last year.
Doesn't work on that this spring.
Which one was that one? Back,
That's where the water
Yes,
line
yeah,
comes
this-
in.
To the west side.
oh, where that
Yeah.
little thing is out there.
Some of the
East
side,
side.
East?
Northeast side of the courthouse,
Okay.
yeah,
and the dumb thing,
yeah, that's where they ran the water line through the window.
right on.
The prior supervisors, way before you guys. No names are mentioned.
Well, I don't see any problems.
Yeah, and you had a 9% increase figured?
That's, yeah, trying, but.
Yep.
I was trying to bum Justin up a little more if I can, but up to you guys.
Okay. Looking good.
$36,000 higher. Is that what you got there?
Oh, I didn't do that, I'm sorry.
And that'll all change. Depending on what wages do and So,
Side note, did you get the breaker put in?
Halfway there. We had it.
I have it, I had vacation.
How was it?
Snowmobiling, how fun could it
It was
be?
almost too hot for snowmobiling.
Oh,
32 degrees too hot. We still did it.
Did you guys get home yesterday?
Saturday. Heat area up there. The winter keeps up like it is, they won't need their heaters and their boxes anymore.
I don't know, last week, we got a call that they were complaining they were tripping them all over, so I don't know.
Still?
Yeah, they're even going down the hallway.
Here?
And
Nobody called me?
I'm gonna change my number.
They do know that. Do you have a phone over there to call, don't they? You must be head maintenance over here.
You ought to seen it. They had little heaters plugged in all over.
That's the problem. We don't have enough power feeding these rooms for that.
And those, I hope we have we should almost have a requirement of what kind they can use, so like they shut off if they get tipped over or something.
Well, I can come in and say, no, they can't have them.
But some of them, years ago, Andrew Ella told me to look at the bottom of them
Yeah.
and read, some of them can be really.
You don't approve it.
Yeah.
How come they just don't turn the furnace on? We have them all, I think they're all unlocked now, aren't they?
I think the problem is, we've got these rooms that are sealed off on the back side. And I don't know if
Isn't
they
there
all got
ductwork
heaters.
going to them all?
There's return errors and everything, yeah. Like you said, let's get you.
Turned up a little bit, but I suppose you get one person that's always hot.
The one problem is, you guys know where the thermostat is, just like here.
Yeah.
That's a stupid place to have.
Yeah. Now, that one,
Them thermostats should be all moved away from where they are. All these rooms.
oh yeah, that cabinet's more thermostats.
Correct, and that's what, it's not accurate.
Now, that one down there, you said you were gonna move that one, didn't you? Did you want me to?
I got the wire,
Well, I'll move it.
okay, I got the wire,
Cause we can move it around.
okay.
Yeah, they should never been mounted on the cabinet like that.
Yeah, that was not a good thing.
Well, it wasn't so bad whenever the room was all open.
Well, even so, like Rick just said, the furnace is hot from running. That corner is the warmest thing.
Yeah,
That corner over there is the coldest.
and the, more it runs, then the more difference there'll be between that wall and that corner. It hardly ever runs.
Wire up sometime.
It's not like it's that expensive to buy either, a spool of it.
So I got 50 foot of it.
It used to be thermostat wire was cheap. I haven't priced it lately.
It still ain't bad, it's like $35 for a 100 foot roll.
You get 2 rooms out of a roll.
Oh, yeah.
Depends where you put the thermostat.
So, yeah, I'll work to get that one moved in.
All right, that's good. I'm all done. You guys got anything?
All done.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
See ya.
You looked at us on time.
Yeah. Seen yours.
Where's that?
It should be, kind of towards the back, I think. Should have a tab for auditor elections.
Auditor.
Oh, yeah, clear back. Had a paper in the way, sorry.
I do wanna check the clarity and reason on one more thing, cause it's an equalization year. And by code, the auditor is responsible for the mailing. Last time him and I split the cost. So we don't even know what class or anything yet, so I know with postage increasing, I wanna make sure he's on board with sharing that with me, or if I need to up my postage.
Okay.
That's the only thing I still had a question on. And I did use the wages that the comp board recommended,
Okay.
and then I had some changes within my, staff, like, I have a couple that don't take insurance, and that would change, so. Those were my changes, and then, obviously with the elections, which brings up current fiscal year also, I might have to ask for another budget amendment, because I have those 3 specials, and that's costly. Or I might just do a service area amendment, you gotta look at that in more detail.
Well, on the elections, you will get reimbursed.
I do get
after,
reimbursed,
yeah.
but I have to have the spending authority to begin with, so.
This is just not the elections too, this is your auditor.
So,
Auditor.
Department 2 is the auditor. And then Department 49 is elections. So like Gina, I can pay her 100% out of elections.
Mhm.
And Courtney, I split 50-50 with elections and Department 2. Same with the withholdings, depending on Department 49 or Department 2. Those are all out of general supplemental. And also this year, when we act on wages, I wanna ask that we act on election workers' pay separate. I don't know if you guys saw how the state auditor wrote up some counties that didn't do that, which were recovered, but I just wanna make sure going forward.
Okay.
So I will include a list of what pay. I'll give you guys a breakdown. And then, like the current staff that I have, Gary Benson and Tom,
Mhm.
they both stepped up and go and set up the precincts and that. So I just wanna have us be covered and act on them separate under the wages.
Yeah, we don't need the name, we won't need the names of the
No,
precinct workers, the only thing you need is,
is that right?
whoever the, the chairman is,
Yep.
he gets more, or they get more, excuse me, and
And
then
then
the
the
workers,
regular.
poll workers underneath it.
Yep, and then the training, so I might
Yeah.
actually do that by a resolution for you guys to approve.
Okay.
Cause that was what Auditor Stan recommended for those counties that got wrote up on, so.
I think they're paid fairly well, our county.
Our county, we do well with them, yeah.
And
Yep, and then they get paid training to attend training or mileage, so. But it is, as you know, gets harder and harder, and then we lose good ones.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
oh, maybe.
Because now,
They'll come
actually, I'm reading the new House files
Yeah,
for the election bills. They're trying to pass where we have to do a election worker training for every election.
Really?
Because currently, we usually do it for the big ones, but we never did it like in between, like city schools.
yeah.
Unless I had a new worker that wasn't comfortable with, then she would come in, or he and Gina would usually walk them through it, but that could be a requirement, which then I would have to pay them all to attend every training, so. But that's still at the house, it wouldn't go to the person.
55,000 higher.
Yeah, but that is with the
Wage
elections
too.
and wages and
Wages.
elections, yep. Not, no, that's not all with the wages. It's for everything in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, everything.
So I left all the history between the elections. If it looks like the one year it's not, the city schools are always the odd years. General primary is the even.
So is there any sort of reimbursement on those elections?
Yes.
Is
Yep,
Cool.
so the revenue goes into, Department 49.
49?
Yes, so if you go to the
Yeah.
revenue page,
Right,
which I didn't put some of that in, because Gina and I have to go figure it out, but yeah, we go, so after these.
that's what that 15 grand is there.
Yeah, but it'll
Okay,
probably be more.
okay, okay.
What we do is like if it's, like for this one in March, there'll be 3. We divide the cost of the ballot style accordingly, for the city schools. We try to make it equal. We have a spreadsheet to pass it on between the schools, which we've had a few schools in the past, like Independence, because they have a very small margin.
Sure,
So sometimes it's like, how do you justify billing in just as much as the other ones? And then I put all my revenue for those, like the things I do for GIS. But then we put that in Department 14 revenue.
14,
Yeah, which when you guys do things budget, but a lot of that comes out of my office when I print big maps and stuff in different
Yeah.
entities. We put that revenue in Department 14. Because that's who pays for that printer. But I think I kept my training, education, pretty much all the same too. But the ballot, cost of ballot printing and stuff, everything just kind of is going up. And I'm also gonna start thinking about reserving money again for upgrading our equipment.
really?
Have anything on your publication, official?
That's in the 49. Sorry. I have 500 under Department 49 for the legal notices. And then if you look under each primary, each separate election, I have that.
Is that enough?
Under each one, it should be.
This year you're gonna have, you'll have to post it for the
It's
school, 3 elections.
So it's under Department 74.
Okay.
You go down, page 3 of my report.
Page 3.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm on page 3.
Yep.
30,
So I have-
37.
yeah.
Okay, you got her coming out of the elections.
So under each, if it's a special city, special
Official
school.
publication, legal notices, 3,200.
Yep.
Printing the ballots, 3,500.
I'm gonna talk to our, Henry Atkins and see about our election equipment. Once they get a couple of years, what they do is they usually give me a trade-in. It might just be upgrading my software, or it might be actually a new
I was
machine.
gonna say, we just did that here a year ago.
We did the software, yeah.
So you had problems with it at first.
Yes, well, Benton County did, and some of the other counties did, and they had to do those office recounts per county. It was a collaboration of the machines,
That's gotta be quite a mess. Your elections.
equipment, well, we have to keep them current and running, otherwise you see in the news, I don't wanna hear about Benton County.
No, I don't want to see you in the news either.
Some of it's mandated by the state, I can't help it if I have to do their laws change, but as of now, those are the only things that I think will affect on the new bills, which hopefully won't be having to.
I didn't see anything jumped out at me.
I didn't even, that was the only question I seen on the very first page.
Sure.
He didn't have nothing there, but
Yeah, it's down.
down the road, yeah.
And I will talk with Larry and see if I'm comfortable
Postage.
with the postage. It's just so hard to know even what class they're gonna pick on for the equalization.
Sure.
It'll affect how many you notice it. but That would be the only other thing.
You're not getting anything in for your office equipment.
No, I think we're pretty good.
Sure.
Anybody? Yours? Cause that other project is coming out of ARPA, the same, so.
Yep.
That was kind of.
And how you coming on that? What's going on with that?
He's going to be coming this spring, I believe,
In
so
the spring?
they start, which I just got another email from the state regarding the DOBs, the Declaration of Values, which you guys know how that impacted from that data breach to that COT systems. So they're just talking about the process flows, reminding the reporters and stuff. So that's. I'm going to put equipment costs under his election because that's what it needs for them to come do those upgrades. So it's kind of contracted out, and then like, high voters, that's a bill passed on from the state.
And don't you have a cell phone hooked up to this on the election part too? You don't use your personal cell
I use my
phone?
personal, and
Okay.
I don't get a stipend. That last time when the phones went out
Yeah,
on election day,
yes,
they routed them to my personal phone.
yeah, that's what
But,
I was curious about that.
yeah. Hopefully that was just a one-time attitude.
And they never did get it up and running, did they?
On
That day.
No, I mean, what I'm thankful for is back in the day, we used to vote in results back then too. And have the runners,
Mm-hmm,
because if something like that would happen, and all that program couldn't come through phone lines.
correct.
Or you have, say, New Hall, and they redid their office, forget to tell you they rewired something.
Mm-hmm.
It worked good when it worked, but I think we're gonna be set in our ways to do it and know that it's the same for everybody.
Until they decide to change something.
Oh, until they mandate it.
Mm-hmm. I know Ben was really upset that.
Well, and then there's always talk like the iVoters comes out of that. One line item from the state, if they ever change that, we have to follow through to it. Hopefully,
Right now, the big discussion, of course, is, school, money for the school.
yes, which I don't understand how that's gonna work either. I gotta read up more on that because it affects not how we collect it, it's how the state. We still collect it the same, I believe. But then that's gonna go to the private company.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't wanna tip my hand during the
No, I
meeting.
know, I'm just reading some of those. I also gave you guys, I think the easy cog was in that back. And how they kind of justify it for county, in case you don't know.
No, I haven't looked at it.
And hooked in the back.
So that's another one in there, just the regular, that's not the watershed, that's just what we pay to be a part of.
That meeting's Thursday.
So most of those that I gave you, I'm putting those amounts in.
What time Thursday?
3 o'clock?
I have a 2:00 meeting.
Is that in person?
In person or Zoom, it's down at Weeby Conference.
So
Are
for
you gonna
those,
represent us?
I can't find something else to do.
so for all those other
If it's snow.
it's supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
For all the other non-departmental, like miscellaneous budgets, do you guys want me to run one lump report? So
Oh,
like,
I would.
it's like medical examiner, department 31, all those different ones that
Yeah,
that way you guys can see it.
yeah, it'd be nice.
Yeah,
I'll do those as
can't do them individual.
well, I'll do like, I call them like, there's Department 99, which is kind of numbers I put in from like those this miscellaneous requests.
Mhm.
That's why I thought about putting those line items on there for you. Does that help you? Or not? like, when those budget requests come in, do you guys want the line item where it goes out of?
No, not so much where it goes out of it. I just want the total number, the name, and that's it.
But I thought for my
Oh,
I
purpose,
don't know, I don't necessarily need to know which line it comes out of.
Right,
okay,
right,
because I'm just saying
Doesn't
when I
mean
print
much to
those,
me,
yeah.
to be
I
honest.
don't care.
Yeah.
General or
I mean,
basic, I don't care where it comes out of.
some of those in those non-departmental lines, it'll tell you kind of, but some of them don't, that's why I was thinking if it would help you visualize where.
Not me anyway, just who they are and how much.
We're kind of running ahead.
I never know, some of them go longer than others, so.
What's the possibility of getting the conservation and
Started earlier.
Benton development up earlier?
Kate will be
Kate, I
coming
know.
from.
Yeah,
Yeah, I get that,
Culver.
because I don't know how you guys are for a lunch break.
I brought them in.
I'm sorry.
I know what I'm having for lunch.
what's that?
Chicken nuggets.
Big these.
I'm gonna have a dozen of them.
We can't, legally, can we move them up since we got?
Oh, because it's been,
agenda?
yeah, probably not,
Well,
probably not.
you guys could probably
No, we can't.
break or do your exempt session if you wanna do some of that discussion.
Yeah, we could,
Because I didn't put a time item on that, but.
yeah, we could.
Well, I guess we could, yeah.
Had we had 20 minutes, we could do that.
Yeah, while we do that, because see, I'm supposed to be
Sometimes
on a-
maintenance goes longer, that's why I didn't
Yeah.
know.
Okay. I'd like to go out and get my file out of my car. I will. So, can we,
No, we don't have to adjourn yet. We'll just wait.
well, for the exempt session?
Then we will adjourn.
Okay.
Or you'll just make a motion to go into your exempt session.
Damn it. It blinked at me. Okay, there we go.
See them.
That's right.
Um,
1:45 is supposed to be done that late, so.
Kate, I don't think
No, I know Kate wants a little bit more money. She ain't asked for any more for years. Can't give me heads up on that.
yeah, it's in there.
What is?
Yeah.
I haven't looked at it yet.
Yep, I printed that one.
Okay. I haven't looked at it. That's towards the back?
Yeah.
Okay.
So then also at some point, we'll go through these and I'll have issue down here when we met and then I thought I'd send it back to those meetings.
Okay.
That way they have their copies too.
Okay. Way in the back? Yeah.
But you want me
Yeah,
to, it's like there, isn't it?
yeah.
Going into exempt session?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
We got, mental health in 15 minutes.
Okay.
And I don't know how long.
The exempt session would be around for the, do that maybe go.
Yeah, yeah.
It's on BDG and all that, that one's in the back too, the notions.
Yeah, what's up? No, not right away, just, you should be fine, okay? Alrighty, bye. Do I look like a weatherman?
What's that?
Do I look like a weatherman? Wonder what the weather's gonna be.
Okay,
Just saying.
whatever it is, it is.
For sure. Thank you, sir.
I remember on Kate, how much did we hear about? No, I won't show you in that book over there, will I?
How much we gave last year?
Yeah,
Um,
that's your curiosity.
I think it was 90, so it was divided.
Was it?
I think it was 90 and it's divided between lost and.
Okay. I thought we were already given 100.
Claims back here. Yeah, we give 22,500 quarterly times 4. 24,000 comes out of general basic and the rest comes out of lost.
With Roxanne Porter, she's gonna come and then later on too. That county volunteer program.
I don't know if she's coming or not. She usually likes to bring the update. I know, the HACAP gal is.
I think they're coming.
They are coming?
Yeah, the volunteers.
Okay.
They usually like to.
Yeah, I had conversations with them.
Okay.
There's quite a few changes going on.
Anyone part of it?
Yeah. His amount stayed the same for a long time. The 7,600.
Okay, they what you're talking about. Trust fund.
Yeah, and I think, well, that one, the easy cog one, I highlighted that in kind of. There was a little cover letter with it.
Did you go more quick?
Should be this one, oh, there's one. And go back and do. Is Allison, oh yeah, I don't know if Allison's gonna come in, but she did send me that form like this. So then what I did is I went and ran a report in our software like that, you guys are used to.
Yeah.
For the Department 35. Come on,
I'm gonna,
how's it going? No May today?
No, she doesn't need to, because she's already approved them. So it's just kind of coming in with you guys and getting your final stamp.
Payment to Easy Cog that you highlighted here is cheaper than what the landfill pays.
And that was based on the census stuff, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Do we like to need the specific percentage breakdown for Sarah, or does that matter?
For the time, for payroll?
To discuss in here, just so I can go.
Yeah, I think if it's gonna change payroll, Nancy would need to know what percentage, cause I think she's doing it as a lump sum, isn't she?
So I just didn't know if I needed it for today's meeting.
I mean, you could mention it and then, was it still 18 something, 18, change?
Yeah, I'll have to grab that.
Whenever you're ready, Mona.
Do you guys wanna go over the hub first or the regional?
You gonna do the hub too?
Yep.
Let's do the mental health, right? That's the one I got open right now.
You guys got that ahead of time, right?
Yep.
Okay. So, based on kind of what I had, so I met with you before, the recommendations or whatever come back, so I just did a flat 3% across, until the board comes back with whatever the recommendation is. Otherwise, there wasn't a huge kind of change. The education and training did go up a little bit, per May's directive. And then also, so because the ABA is based out of this county, and she has to go through and do some specific courses and coursework and things like that, that increases the education budget a little bit. And so that went up. Otherwise, fuel a little bit, one, just because of the price of fuel and because Sarah's going to Iowa City now, once or twice a week. So she fills in for Iowa City cases as well as Benton County cases. So she's down in Iowa City once or twice a
She's
week.
not doing that.
Mhm.
She drives your car?
The county car. Yep. So that has increased fuel prices, and then obviously the ABA, she covers the entire region. Otherwise, obviously, kind of health insurance, all that good stuff.
If you didn't increase the mileage, so did you?
No, just the fuel for the Wex card.
I'm looking at the fuel. Okay, there it is. I thought it.
Yeah, fuel went up from.
You only increased to 350.
So, and I don't know because,
But that's a pretty good percentage overall.
If they use the county vehicle, then they don't get reimbursed personal mileage.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
so, and I know up to this point, we've used, out of that 16, we've used about 1,000. And so that's why I went 2,000, because if we're using about $1,000 over a 6 month period, I just kind of doubled it. And then if for some reason we get really close, kind of this fiscal year,
Now, is Johnson County gonna hire somebody?
so we're in the process right now of, part of the priority initiatives is doing like an evaluation of the entire system as a whole, right? Of basically where are we at in regards to duplication of services, social work time, kind of all of that stuff. So they are in the process right now of trying to have an evaluation completed. And I'm on that committee to kind of figure out where are the needs. Do we need to hire another Johnson County social worker? So things like that. So that is being evaluated to determine if that is a need or, and I know initially they had talked about having her down there, I want to say like 2 or 3 days a week. And Sarah and I have had the conversations about, do you even need to go down there every single week? Like if you're actively meeting with people, if you're doing whatever, that makes sense. But if you're not, so she's doing a really good job of kind of balancing that of like, do I actually need to go down there? Because she's going down.
She have an office down there when she gets down there then?
She works out of the Johnson County office. So she does that when she has to like meet with people, have meetings, things like that. So she does a really nice job of kind of balancing when do I need to be there, and
How long she been doing this?
at least 6 months.
You know that?
So
And I'm kind of surprised Johnson County, I mean, that's a big county.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
what I'm,
Why is Benton County?
that's what I'm getting at.
So the social workers in general cover, so like our Buchanan County person covers people in Benton, if, you know, for out at like Cedar Valley Range. So Bramer County doesn't have a social worker at all. And so like and Dubuque County doesn't have social workers. So our Delaware County social workers cover Dubuque. Our Jones County social worker covers Dubuque. So the social workers just kind of cover wherever they're needed, basically. So we had 3 social workers in Johnson County, and then he quit and went over to general assistance, and so they just haven't filled it. So, because they're trying to figure out, like, do we have too many lumped in one place and not enough kind of in other places? So,
Okay,
yeah, it's a whole thing, but, the one thing, because, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Haley, but from my understanding, the region kind of reimburses for all of that, so the nice thing that, the thing that I can, I guess, I don't wanna say justify in my head, but kind of justify in my head is the region is covering that fuel, not the county. So it's not, you guys are paying for her to go work in Johnson County, kind of a thing. Do you know what I mean? So,
We still submit our expenses and then the region reimburses us quarterly. So what we started with currently, we kind of gave them a rough estimate since this was the first year. Because what they want is that we have a fund balance to work on, so we're not in the hole, but they kind of already give us our cushion.
so it's the prepayment
And then at
basically.
the end of the fiscal year, we'll do that adjustment.
So that's, I guess that's one, because it is regional and the expectation is we cover kind of everything regionally, but that you guys essentially aren't having to foot the bill for her to not cover Benton County. So, and it's 1 day a week versus she spends 50% of her time there, or even 35. So, and I have not heard any kind of that people aren't getting taken care of or that things are being missed. I haven't heard any of that. So if you guys hear that, please let me know so that I can address it. But at this point, there hasn't been any, like, people in Benton County aren't being served, or people in Benton County are kind of falling through the cracks because she's not here, she's down there. So if that ever becomes a thing, please let me know right away so that I can address it. So.
I did not know she was going down there.
A lot of the times when she's, I mean, and all of the apps and things like that are out there, but a lot of the times when she's down there, I'm in the office, so there's somebody.
Somebody here. Got it. All right. Well, I don't have anything for the mental health. You?
Nope.
Okay. All right, I'll go to the hub.
That's in the back, isn't it?
And I think we finally got some of those line items all. It was just last year, remember how chaotic it was? Because we normally took our withholdings out of the fund too.
Yeah, so I think, fingers crossed, we got it all.
I think we're submitting it okay, properly to the.
I haven't heard anything
I think the-
otherwise.
Haley, is the hub in the back?
Yep.
It's right
A
in
little more
between those.
behind where we were at.
I think I had the
It goes
relief,
past
mental
that,
health, and hub.
I'm sorry, what's that?
We had the relief, mental health, and hub all kind of right in a row.
Okay.
Yeah, those pages you,
Department
Turned over.
16, if you look for 16,
it's right behind them.
it should have a sticker on it that says hub.
Okay. Should.
See this?
Yeah.
Because it didn't have a title.
Next one.
Be right in front of the
Oh,
auditor
up
on
in
that.
front, I'm sorry.
Yep.
In front, I was going backwards.
Nope.
Sorry.
I'm glad I'm not the only one who does that. But it's like, I know it's here somewhere. And I figured out the 67,000 versus the 97,000. That 67 didn't have like the insurance and the FICA and IBRs and all that kind of stuff, Haley. That's what I had emailed, but it didn't, it looked like we were.
Oh, yeah, because at the beginning of the year, we did that budget amendment for some, I had to move those around.
So, and I don't know if, I think we should be okay, but with when there still was fund balance, there was that like 4,000 something that like was supposed to be for that CIT training and that didn't happen.
Yep.
So when it got reimbursed to the region, it got taken out of this fiscal year's budget.
And I think, and don't quote me on this, but I know in our audit too, because the fourth quarter payment to the region, or whatever, when we gave them over our fund balance, I think we technically still owe them some more too.
Yeah.
Which I've been in touch with Deb Guard, but I'm letting Art Bailey, our audit firm, at when the fiscals, because they're still currently finishing up the write-up stuff, and then we'll have to probably pay the regions on.
Well, and I'm kind of paying close attention so that way if we get too far down there, because that 4,000 wasn't something that was planned on coming out of that. So if it throws things off, we may.
Well, I mentioned to them, I possibly might have to do a budget amendment for elections, so.
Yeah.
I
So
have
we'll,
three specials, but if I do one, it'll probably be February.
yeah, we'll figure it out kind of closer to. So there wasn't any huge, major changes with this. So the only thing kind of major that we had different is I don't think Lindsay took our insurance and Michelle does. So that's the only huge major change.
Yeah.
So I increased the like office supplies for like marketing stuff, things like that a little bit. I dropped education and training just simply because Lindsay had a license and Michelle's degree, she has a master's degree, but it doesn't require a license, so I was able to kind of offset those two costs a little bit. Vehicle maintenance dropped a little bit. We don't have to do any of the like the building or grounds maintenance, so that got gone altogether. I don't think we had ever put in vehicle insurance. I'm not sure why, but it never got taken out before, so I added that in just in case. Same thing with like dues and memberships, because she doesn't have that, we didn't have to do that, so. And I don't know, so with, if you look at the like Department 16 total, it says total budget was 67,000. It wasn't, it was the 97,044. So it went up a little under $2,000 with
1,500, yeah.
with raises and all that kind of stuff. So Lindsay is still, she has a little bit in here. So she is kept on, so if Michelle is gone. So,
Oh, really?
So we have a little bit in the budget left for Lindsay, so that way if Michelle's on vacation and I can't be here for whatever reason, like Lindsay can come fill in. If she's sick on vacation, for any like special projects that we might wanna do for marketing, outreach, whatever, things like that. So she has, I wanna say it was like $5,000 for the year.
Percentage on her wages.
3.
Okay.
I didn't change Lindsay's, hers was stayed the same, just simply because she's part-time.
Yep.
So hers stayed the same, it was a 3% difference for Michelle. So, just kind of like what we talked about until the, whatever board comes back, and then if it's different, then
Is
these
your
numbers.
region board can act on that, correct? On the wages?
So if we're gonna say, I'm just throwing random numbers out, we're gonna say I put in 3 and you guys come back and say the board recommended 5. I'll just adjust my numbers, resend them to, because I've already talked to May and Deb about this, resend them to May and Deb, and then they'll give the yay or nay, yep, that's fine, because she said every single county has that same thing. That basically everybody's presenting their budgets because we have to.
Right.
But if their board comes back with a different recommendation than what they put in their budget, we just adjust it, resend it in, and we're good to go. As long as you guys approve like the original budget, and then whatever it is that you guys recommended for the through like the compensation stuff. Does that make sense?
Now, quick version of it, if, like you said, you just threw that out here. If we're gonna 3%, we say 5%, 8%, 20%, whatever. Total dollars then, the total dollars will stay the same, correct? You'll just make it work in your budget, or will it go up?
It would go up.
Okay,
And I would just, and that's why I said I had already talked to
okay,
May and just resubmit it to her
okay.
and then, yeah.
'Cause most of the time, you know, they make it work. The final number stays the same, but they make it work in their budget.
So
Ain't
it's,
that right?
and it's also going to, I mean, cause I'll talk to May about that and like, May, do you want the number to go up? Do you want me to just balance it? Like, what do you want me to do? So I'll get the,
Good for you.
Yeah.
I got canceled.
No,
So they canceled the dentist, they canceled me.
We would have had time for you today, too.
Yes,
I was gonna say, I should be done in just a
Take
few
your
minutes.
time.
So I will double check with May when
Okay.
that number comes back of like,
Okay.
May,
Okay.
good to know, cause that I was not, cause I know as soon, like, at least for me, and I think it's the same for Sarah. So like, if my phone rings and I don't answer, it immediately comes through my email. So as soon as I get a voicemail, I get it immediately, so it's not, it doesn't wait till the next time I come back, so. I wasn't sure how her and Ben had figured it out, so it's good to know that it rolls.
Have you guys got any more questions for the hub?
I don't,
We're good.
Oh, the only other thing, and I don't know that this necessarily matters, Sarah had come in and did her budget. The general assistance amount, went from, so she was 16% last year, 16% general assistance, and then 84% region. It's 1189 this year. So she's 11% GA, that's what the county covers, and then 89% of her salary is covered by the region.
I might just tell Nancy that to put it on my note. for
I
payroll starting July
emailed
1st.
her and she's like, wait, I thought it was this, and I was like, sorry, I should have prefaced it with, that's next fiscal
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you wanna let her know, I did email her, and I let her know it's for next fiscal year, but. And so every single year, that number is going to change, because I track, Sarah sends me her time, and then I track it to break down an exact percentage. So it's basically a year behind, so I'll use like last year's numbers, last fiscal year's numbers for this year, and so on and so forth. So that will kind of adjust every single year.
Thank you. Donna.
Alrighty. Are you ready for me, sir, or you got something in here?
it's up to you.
Okay. You
No,
look
I was
ready.
just passing through.
Alright, well, let's go chat, sir.
So now I go February 1st.
Okay, so I still have you down next week for your.
Yep, yep.
And we did approve Katie, so that was done earlier.
Okay. Her first official day will be the 24th of February.
Oh, so I need to change the resolution to make it effective 24th
25th.
February.
25th of February. She's got things going on with her
Alright,
mother.
February 25th.
Alright, thanks, guys.
thank you.
I'll take a motion to go on the exempt session right now.
So moved.
And I would second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'll go shut the door.
Back on it.
Okay.
Call them to order again.
Okay. She gotta go? Okay.
I'm just gonna keep boots. Right?
Mhm.
They're comfy too.
Well, Tracy's pretty cute too, but.
She's talking about my shoes. These boots are made for a woman.
For your information, just 2 weeks ago, I lost a heel off one of these. Rich pointed it out to me, it was laying underneath me here.
I'm sure you would have noticed when you got up, right? A little off balance.
I glued it back on.
Can't you glue, like reinforced tack, like actually go to a sole,
Well,
a place that does that? Make sure.
Probably could.
A place that does that?
Yeah, what is that called? You know what I'm
A
talking about?
shoe repair shop.
It's just
yeah.
a shoe repair shop.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it had like a
Main.
term. Yes, okay.
I can do it back on with that gorilla glue, so.
They call it a cobbler.
There you go. Is it the
shoe cobbler?
What's that?
A shoe cobbler.
A shoe cobbler, there you go. Is it the original heel from Fort Wayne?
Yes,
Okay. Haven't lost it yet.
yes.
Oh, all right. Later. Yeah, bye.
Not budget, no, Tracy. I don't know if you saw, we're meeting Mark Greenlee at 1:45. I didn't know if you'd be able to make it or not.
I'm not eating more.
Or, Matt.
Man,
Jeez, why can't, yes,
yes, I know.
At the park, right?
yes.
All right, we're back in session again, so for a couple of minutes I had a schedule, so we'll start with yours.
Haley? Okay, that one's on.
Yeah, we are. Yep, it's ready.
Yeah, it's red.
Okay.
It's kind of like the door, red is good, is go.
I can't see it.
Well, that's true, you're colorblind.
Oh, I forgot about that too.
Mm-hmm.
I can't see when the door's open. What it is.
Oh, that's a problem.
Yeah.
I can see when the door's open.
The lid, the light on the top, you can't.
Oh,
I guess we'll start picking you apart,
Yep.
okay?
Okay.
Engineering services, page one, $5,000, you never had that before.
Correct.
What's it for?
Surveying and appraisals, because we haven't had a line item for it. I think we've just been taking out of building grounds and maintenance, and that's about how much they cost. And we have properties that we've been working, like the city of Atkins, the Benton House, stuff like that, to have it in the budget to do.
Okay.
And we move things out of another line item for that.
So I had that marked as well.
Office equipment, jumping up, getting cake.
Office equipment, under mine, the $2,500 stuff.
$2,500 increase, yeah.
Yep, and that is moved from another account. We got rid of the line item contract carriers and moved it to that.
What's so expensive about dues and membership?
Dues and memberships.
Second one.
Second line.
Down.
She don't have what we got. She
No, that's fine. I have this one actually.
Year to
that's
date,
the one I
you've got
give them.
0.
Okay, dues and memberships. Second, oh, you're on the same page.
Second page.
Ah, I'm with you. Oh yeah, so $2,400. So we're part of ICCS. It's a statewide organization for county conservation, and part of our dues, it's $2,000 a year per county. Just that's always been the case. So if you see that, that's kind of, it's always been around 2,000. And then the 400 on top of that's my dues for like my county conservation, peace office association, and et cetera, et cetera.
Further down the line, you got a heck of an increase on fuel.
Yeah, we are already at half. In November, we were already at half of our fuel budget.
Okay.
So
Because your year to date is, I see you're almost $20,000.
yeah.
Okay.
So that's why we increased it, just the cost of fuel, like it's gone up.
Yeah, well, I get that, yeah. Wow.
I know, it's crazy.
Page 3, your telecommunications is up, over $5,000.
Yes, so that was body cams,
And Wildcat Shop has Wi-Fi now. Hammond Shop Wi-Fi, we're budgeting for that. Cameras, our truck Wi-Fi, and the phones.
yeah, so a lot of that's law enforcement. The majority of it is law enforcement.
your equipment, you've got from 6,000 up to 14,
Oh,
same page.
that came from another line item also. We eliminated, we have the notes on that, I can go to the page. We
So it's
eliminated,
a combination of,
yeah, we split it between two other line items that you'll see a jump in. You have notes on which one that was. Contract repairs, running tax.
So we have this equipment and other supplies line item. We took that one out.
Completely.
We moved 12,000 into 630, which is,
The equipment line item, or agricultural, horticulture equipment.
yep, and then we put 8,000 into 443.
Which is?
well, that explains why the horticultural jumped up.
Yes. Yep.
By 12,000.
Yeah, so we split the
Okay.
20,000 between two different line items.
And I go back up to buildings and grounds maintenance, CA.
Okay.
With that one.
Oh. Yep.
Okay,
Where it went down,
yeah,
yeah,
Well-
big time.
That's where that FEMA money went in.
oh.
So that was our spending
You had
authority.
Yes.
last year for FEMA, yep, yep.
Okay,
That explains,
But if you see that line item, that's where all of our, normally that's where all of our grants, our FEMA money, we'll probably be back in a couple of months, or after July, and ask for, you know,
well, your
So-
motor vehicle went down substantially as well.
and that was because we didn't spend anything out of it the year prior. So we got a budget amendment for the last 2 years to spend it out of this year, so.
Yeah, not
Just
that you
because-
have to spend it, don't take me wrong. You don't.
Ideally, we will be, but.
Yeah. The other stuff isn't drastic. Page 5, how's your building fund? This is your spending authority on here. What have you had set aside for that building fund?
250,000 this year, it'd be 300,000 next year. 250,000 for Hannon, plus the loss, which is why it's 224. So that was all gonna go towards Hannon.
Plus 224. Okay,
So,
so you've got about 474 set aside.
right, and then I did ask for the additional 50,000 like we talked about every year. I did put that in this budget for next, so for the fiscal year, which would bump us up that additional 50, which would be good. And then, of course, depending on how bids come in and everything else, we talked about ARPA funding to assist with the building, especially the public side, the bathrooms and stuff. So I see a budget amendment happening depending on how the building goes.
This current year,
Yeah,
because I was just thinking.
or hopefully not,
Well,
but probably next year.
because I kind of want to do one again.
I have
February.
a sign grant. It's like, it was like, I don't know, $8,000 or $6,000.
I was gonna send out an email to department heads.
Okay.
Because I have 3 special elections in March, so, you know, I might have to.
Okay.
Get some more spending authority in there, so I was gonna check with them.
Okay, good. We'll see if we get any more grants between now and then too.
Or, yeah, or if you think there's one possibility, maybe just put it in just in case.
Okay.
So we're not understanding.
And then if we all spend it, we can spend it.
Oh, a lot of guessing, yes,
I'm guessing.
a lot of guessing.
Okay, so that's your revenue. Are you anticipating that the local option sales tax could go down that much?
No, so we have a budget amendment, we have 2 years worth right now sitting in our spending authority. I asked for the same amount as previous years. So it's, so right now.
So that 224 is what you were gonna use on the bill?
Yes,
Okay.
Yep.
And the 112.5 is back like?
back to our normal.
previous.
Mhm.
Okay.
And you think the interest is probably gonna go up with the Carol Sue Donovan trust?
Yeah, so when I talked to them last year, my understanding that it was up a little bit more than what we had budgeted for, but then they said they expected to drop a little. So that's why, or not drop, but I'm basically trying to play catch up. So I think, because I should have adjusted it the year prior. So it went 30 to 37. I don't think we were quite that big of a jump. And so then when I talked to the bank, they said, just do a little bit of an increase for your estimated. Hopefully we don't touch it though, but you know, we have it in there just in case.
No, like you said, it's a whole lot of guessing going on.
It is.
Yeah.
It's especially with like costs to the market. That's like the fuel. Like we hope we don't spend that much, but that's just how much it went up. And roads, unfortunately, like we have, you know, secondary roads through our seal coat. It was $40,000 just to do the roads this year. So this coming year, we know it's going to be more, but we don't know by how much. It was just, we didn't even do all of our normal parks either. So I don't know. It was a lot. I mean, I get it though. Diesel is crazy expensive. I don't know. It's tough.
I think I have any more questions.
Land rent, where's that at?
That's on the revenue page, which apparently,
About the middle of the page, looks like it's, the scotch about $900. But year to date is even.
yeah. What?
That's building rent, land rent is $13,900.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it said.
Yeah.
Okay,
I was gonna come look.
what do you rent?
The property, the section north of, the nature center. My goodness, that was really hard. That whole section is, rented out in CRP.
So that's in the 10-year program with the federal government.
So that'll eventually stop, but we're not there yet.
Yeah, and they don't kick about the cottonwood trees that are growing?
I don't know if you've seen, that whole section right there.
Yeah.
That has just been a battle. And so it's just whatever their mid-contract management, what they'll allow us to do. It's kind of annoying because we would handle it slightly different than what federal regulations are. You know, if we could. So once it's out of contract, nothing's gonna be renewed. We're gonna manage it how we need to. So we will end up losing that to the general eventually, but I think we're still 3 years out, so.
So you're gonna get this a little tighter, a little more nailed down
What's that?
budget.
This is it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, it's a guess, like we were talking,
Well, on the
that's what we referred
revenues,
to.
it's a guesstimate.
Revenue is big estimate.
Yeah.
Well, and your grants, like you said, you don't always know.
Yep.
So, you should just plan for them, and if you don't get them, don't spend it.
True. We could always like next year we're getting a certain percentage on like building grounds just in grants. And then just know we don't go above it unless we deposit it.
Yeah. That way you're covered under spending authority.
I know.
You don't have to just amend all the time.
That's frustrating. And then I feel bad, I'm like, hey Haley.
Chances are somebody else needs an amendment too, though.
It's true. I just know it's a pain.
Like I said, it's just one of those guessing games, you don't know.
And for this reason.
Did you get your final FEMA payment for the COVID though?
Yeah, I just deposited it.
I was gonna say, I just got mine.
It was like the smallest amount. It was just like that final.
Well, it was that remainder, wasn't it? They paid like so much upfront. I was telling them that was a lot of work for that. So good money.
It was. It was.
Yeah.
That was a big sigh.
Figures and meeting people, refresh my memory, why is your budget, not complaining, going down?
So it's going down because we deposited a bunch of FEMA funds in the buildings and grounds. That's why that one dropped so much too. And then any of like and the grants always throw it no matter what. So ups and downs for spending and.
You should put the deposits in one fiscal year, so which cushions the fund balance, and then ask for the spending.
Yes.
So that's why I offset those.
Which is
bottom dollar.
super frustrating.
Right.
It would be a lot easier to follow if it was just a normal checking account.
Mm-hmm.
I understand completely.
Mm-hmm. All the questions I got, of course, I'm a little bit up on some of this, these other guys are not.
I said already, I was,
Yeah.
you know, asked the ones I had. So,
Awesome.
Pick up next yet? You're in the shop?
Cams?
Yep.
Should be this week. I'm waiting for a call from the insurance company. So what I did, so I don't have to do a budget amendment, is have the insurance company pay them directly. So I'm waiting for the call saying, hey, we're gonna send the check, take the truck in, so. It's supposed to be early this week. So hopefully by tomorrow at the latest. And then we can get moving. Okay,
I'm good.
awesome.
You good?
I'll talk about the other stuff I've been dealing with. About the building.
Mm-hmm. Down there.
Afternoon when I
Okay.
get down there.
That sounds fine. We'll still probably be there if you're,
I'm hoping we won't be that much longer.
yeah, I think,
If Kate comes, I guess we got pretty well everything else talked over.
Kate won't take that long.
No,
awesome.
I think over next week's agenda.
yeah,
So currently I have the sanitary land use and sheriff left. And attorney, so those are the three that you have not
senior.
seen yet. Otherwise, I think we covered them all. Other than those few entities that want to come forward and that are not departments,
Sure.
so, up to you guys if you're ready to act now, or just act on the fact.
We'll wait till next week.
Yeah, I think.
Well, that's what I'm at next week.
Still wrestling.
I might change my mind on that.
Because if you have all of them in the morning session, you can actually take a lunch break, I'll make sure that time allows, and then come back and act on it, or do you want to put it off in the week?
Well, Rick put it off the other for it, so do you need it?
Well, I'm
You're
looking
the
at,
one that's got to
yeah.
deal with it.
I want to set the maximum ready notice for February, what did I say, I wanted to do it on February 7th or 14th, I'm in the budget hearing. So I have to know the maximum amount. I was trying to be good and get everything compiled before we go to Farm Bureau, because it feels like we're always still fluctuating so much, we don't know our levies yet, so, but it's your call. Like I said, sometimes if we didn't wanna act on it until a budget hearing, it is what it is. If we wanna fine tooth it, it's easier if you guys act. We still have the rest of the week. If we wanna-
What's all on the agenda the next week? You're gonna kill the whole 3/4 of the day, half the day again?
Right now, the sanitary land use is on at 9:15, sheriff is on at 9:35, and I thought 10-ish, the attorney. And then, minutes, claims, acknowledged veterans quarterly report, that's basically all I have right
Okay, nothing from Myron?
now. But he sometimes doesn't know until that morning.
Okay.
And maybe if you wanna do another meeting next week instead of Tuesday, that you guys digest everything and then meet Thursday or something.
Yeah.
Do another
That works for
budget
me.
session or.
Next week, next Thursday?
Yep, otherwise take a break and then come back and hash it out after lunch.
Calendar says.
Which would be the 26th.
If we do it on the 26th, it's gotta be early.
Yeah, because I got housing trust fund and ED fund.
And doctor's appointment and ACAP.
Or Wednesday. Just throwing it out there.
Oh, Wednesday.
Just so I know the postage numbers.
Wednesday's good with me.
Wednesday's good for me.
Probably better, actually.
Wednesday morning.
9 o'clock,
Yeah.
lock it
The 25th?
in. Yes.
Okay.
We can't adjourn yet, can we?
No.
Ringing, huh?
Yeah, we got, oh,
One
Yeah,
more
one to
to
go.
go. Albert.
You need to go?
yeah. I need to go to the restroom.
Oh, I thought you meant you were gonna leave.
And her papers on the back.
Yeah.
Or file.
So we're gonna do that at 9 o'clock?
Yeah,
Okay.
all
If you
right.
wanna meet for a little bit first and then fill in. I can give you like.
Well, in case there's something we gotta do.
Well, if you're gonna do it that way, why don't you post it at,
Post
we
my
can meet at
normal,
9 o'clock for a work section and then start at 10.
I have to act on the others.
Then we can have everything hacked out.
And I could probably put together some of those non-departmental ones for
You know what I mean?
Sure.
We'll actually meet at 9, but we'll do the exempt session, work session for the first hour. Get everything, get the names, percentages, whatever.
Yeah. Think it'll take an hour?
Yeah.
Okay.
I-
Sure.
I'm just, you got your list, I'm gonna start my list, and then we'll have a compromise, and I gotta see, you know, one person in the courthouse, get that ironed out, so we can discuss that.
Okay.
I'll probably come back up later this week to talk to him, see, maybe give him a heads up,
Who's that?
and
Oh, yeah. I don't know.
since I got the wrong phone number for him.
You have two. He's got his personal one and then he's got a county one.
I know, and I don't have his county one, I got his personal one, that's the one that won't answer.
Because the county one he was calling on the other day.
Yes, that's the one I did not know last week.
Yeah, I would just check with him before you make a trip.
Yeah. Either that or I can call you girls, because you're always there.
Yeah. Alright, so I'll have it on all the meetings order at 9 a.m. And exempts work session pursuant to Iowa Code 21.9.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll just put 9 to 10 a.m. And that works. like history or budget work too. Who did you say the volunteers wanted to come and talk?
Hey, yeah,
Well, HACAP it is, but,
No, I was approached by Connie Barnes with the volunteers,
oh, is she on that board or something?
I think so.
Okay,
But I'm sure they're gonna come and talk to us.
okay. Nobody's contacted me, so I wasn't sure.
Well, maybe they will, I don't know.
I just knew who emailed me about the thing, I could
Sure.
ask her, I guess.
See if they're gonna come in.
Um,
Oh, that'd be okay.
Oh, probably, yeah, or,
They're coming, huh?
Door, get the check in. I think. I forgot.
yeah, there's different forms I use, new forms this year.
I did a look back there too.
Get in here, Dave.
I'm waiting on the brains of the outfit.
All right.
Hello,
Hi, guys. How are you?
good, how are you?
Good. Good. What's new? How was lunch?
Well, we kept working.
Did you even have lunch?
No, they did an exempt session, so it's- Tracy didn't share his banana with us.
still got it.
You can have my part.
You don't like banana?
Oh, God, I hate them. Can't stand the texture.
Not even green ones? My wife buys
Start
bananas.
wherever you want to.
Oh, can we? Okay. I didn't know if
They
we
have
were,
your printout for the form,
okay, awesome.
My wife buys bananas and they sit on the cupboard till they get rotten, and then she makes banana bread.
Yep. You're welcome.
Thank you very
Do
much.
that.
Thank you.
And then here's a few things I want to talk about, sorry, I dropped that a little bit, so. I've just got one copy of each of them for you. All right. You want to start or you want me to start?
I told him you're the brains of that, so there's no sense in me saying much anything.
you said that out loud, right?
That's recorded.
And it's on live broadcast. That's all right. It's not anybody in Belle Plaine, that'd be a secret.
So, I just put together a little sheet showing you some of our highlights of the year. We did launch a new logo, updated our website, and with that, we launched a new campaign called Life Made Well. That campaign kind of focuses on workforce, quality of life, our different communities in the county, our school districts. It's kind of all encompassing for Benton County. One of the main goals of that was to get our industry and business leaders like really involved with that. So we've been pushing a survey for them to fill out. The end goal is the employer would fill out the survey, tell us kind of what jobs they're most yearning for. And ideally what we'd like to do after receiving all that information is kind of put together a playbook for our juniors and seniors in the high schools to let them know, like, there are careers right here in your backyard that you're unaware of, and this is kind of the career path that it would take. So it's kind of utilizing education and workforce and all the things all rolled into one. So that's a project we've been continuously working on all year. We're not getting as much response from that survey as we would like, but we're gonna keep trying to push it this year so that we can hopefully have that end result. Let's see, we, in February, we did have a site visit, and the site visit was a result of a request for proposal that I submitted for a property in Benton County. That was actually for a property in Urbana. Tracy's looking at the information that we put together for that particular site visit. I just started year 6 in October, and this is the first time that I've actually, isn't that crazy? You're looking at me like, holy moly, yeah. So this is the first time that I've actually had the company, the decision makers, like, out to a property. It was a really big deal. I know that we've had multiple second and third looks on projects. And we've submitted, I would say that we're averaging at least a couple RFP submissions a month, which is a lot for us because we don't have a large amount of property that's available to submit. So 9 times out of 10, it's that Urbana property that we're submitting, the Blue Creek Industrial Park, for projects. But there's been a few small ones for a couple other communities that we've submitted as well. But so we put that together. And the goal would be this year for other properties that are similar to that Blue Creek property is to kind of make this playbook, if you will, about those properties so that we're just ready to rock anytime something comes along. So it's a really neat marketing piece. The second booklet that you were looking at there, Tracy, the bent up one that I dropped, that's really our demographics and our workforce broke down, which is a really nice tool that we use for this site visit, but we use it for a lot of other things going forward. So probably one of the biggest visible things that everybody is aware of that happened, that BDG was a huge part of, was the opening of the Atkins Tap House this year. That was the result of a Catalyst grant that BDG helped the city of Atkins write and get. That tap house opened, the lieutenant governor came and visited. We'd had a great luncheon with him one day. But along with the tap house opening, Shellsburg's Catalyst project also opened this year. So those were two really big projects that we had a big hand in. Every year, we have all of the political leaders in, but we did tour Ideal Industries not too long ago with Congresswoman Hinson. I think it's great that they come out and take a peek at what we have going on, so that's fantastic. Let's see. We are continuing to build our opportunities and with partnerships. I was a huge part of the East Central Iowa revisioning throughout all of last year. It was kind of a year-long process, and so we'll continue to be a part of that. I'm just continuing to champion rural progress and development, with our region, which is urban. So I attended 3 conferences this year for networking purposes and development purposes: the Iowa Downtown Conference in Pella, the Rural Development Conference, which they held in Ames this year, and then PDI, which is Professional Developers of Iowa. We hosted a city clerk luncheon. We've had this idea for a couple years now to really get the city clerks involved. They're kind of the heartbeats of our community. Most of our communities, aside from Belton and Benton, don't have like a community development director. So the clerk is kind of that face of the community and knows what's going on, knows where the bodies are buried, all those things. So we feel like it's really important that we tap into those people as a resource, not only for us to be a resource to them, but them to be a resource to us. Because if nobody's communicating with BDG or myself, we don't know what we don't know. So we want to continue to work on the city clerk luncheon. This time we did invite some leaders too. We haven't had as great of a turnout as I would like to see, but I feel like we have had quite a bit of engagement with more communities rather than just kind of your 3 or 4 bigger ones that are always a part of everything. So I'd like to see us grow that. I'd like to provide some training opportunities for the clerks as well. A lot of times they're just whoever applying for this job, they get it, and there isn't really a training behind it. There are some city clerk coursework things that they can do to get a certification, things like that. I'd like to figure out a way where BDG could maybe provide that as a tool for the clerks. And I just think that all around helps create a better partnership for all the communities as well. And then they can be a resource to each other. So, and then one of the things I'm most excited that we did this year was we enlisted the help from the state of Iowa. The Iowa Downtown Resource Center has a program called Downtown Walkarounds. And typically it's one community that will reach out to the state. The state will come in and do assessments for 3 days. Well, I reached out to them and we did 4 communities in a 3-day period. It was awesome. We did Atkins, Blairstown, Benton, and Newhall, and a lot of great things have come from that. I gave you a copy of their assessment packet that they sent back to me, which I haven't shared with the communities yet, but I'm going to get on all the council agendas and kind of do that. But it's really a first-hand experience, like from a first impression that outside people have. They pick up on things that maybe the person living in the community doesn't always see. It kind of created a baseline of opportunities for where a city could start. I know a lot of things spurred out of specifically in Newhall from that. Since then, 2 buildings have sold. There's development happening there. The council is engaged, the mayor is engaged. So that's a new community that we haven't had a ton of participation from. But I think there's a lot of opportunity there. So we're working on that. Benton, there was some great ideas in there. Obviously Atkins, the state's very familiar with the city of Atkins and their growth, having done a project or 2 there. And then Blairstown, surprisingly enough, that was a community that the state was so excited about because they see some potential in there. And so, and Blairstown's been extremely engaged in the past year with BDG. So I would like to see, so BDG paid for that. I mean, it's very minimal amount. I think it was $1,500 for us to have 4 do 4 communities, but had the communities pay for that on their own, that would be a hard thing for them to kind of come up with in some respects. So that was a cool thing for us to be able to offer. But I would like to do another 4 communities this year, if 3 or 4, see if we can do that and get that scheduled. That's something that I have as a goal. I think that just then gives us all a baseline. I feel like our focus has really shifted over 5 years from start. Well, I just really kind of figured out how to do my job like in the last year. But you know, there's so much to learn and things. But I feel like our shift the focus has shifted, and I feel like we've always had a real keen eye on the communities, but we've been looking at the bigger picture where I feel like we're really focusing more on community development opportunities right now and how we can help those communities really grow internally while still working on some of the bigger picture things, where I feel like it's just kind of flip-flopped. I think COVID played a part in that as well. We were really trying to stand up. Some of our downtowns, you know, had a struggle. Some of our smaller businesses did. Not that the big employer isn't very important, it is, but I feel like some of the smaller retails haven't had much of a focus, and I think we're still continuing to support that more so than we ever have. We've been involved in a lot of, I just have my real estate license actually. We've been involved in numerous building sales in the past year. I would say I think we're right around 14 buildings that we've been a part of that have been selling, and multiple new businesses. Too many to name actually, small businesses, but you know, yeah, it's been a really, really good year. So we as a board, I think are happy with it. And so we did ask for a $10,000 increase this year in our budget. We went from 90 to 100,000. We've been at 90 since I've been here for 5 years. But in order for us to continue with our marketing efforts and providing some of these opportunities, and just with today's pay and inflation and all those things, it does cost quite a bit. So that's why we're kind of asking for the extra amount. So, anything you want to add?
Just to echo what Kate has said, part of the whole concept of bringing the clerks in, that's who people contact. I mean, my clerk's in Belle Plaine. Who's the hairdresser you're supposed to get? You recommend a construction company. I mean, the phone calls are amazing sometimes. So we know when it comes to economic development, the clerks are getting them. We want the clerks to know Benton development's here. And as a rural county, we need an organization that handles economic development. And it's difficult for Benton County to compete against Blackhawk and Lynn County. So it's important that we have a go-getter like Kate that can handle that, because most small town clerks don't have the time to do it. Most small town mayors have even less time than the clerks have, or less knowledge, or in the office less. So I think for Benton County, the best thing we did was revitalize Benton development, at least on the economic side. And in Kate's defense, one property she's talking about, Urbana, competition was with Lynn County. When they came to face, they rolled out all the guns they had, right down to their top politicians to show up when they weren't supposed to even be there. And that's how they beat that property out of Urbana. They took everything we had. Just on a side note, the mess that occurred in Marengo, our development group warned Marengo that was probably not a company you want to do business with. And we warned the state about not giving them economic development funds. Unfortunately, that's a case of when you're a small town and you have a big empty facility. sometimes you're willing to take a risk and throw a life preserver to a company maybe you don't want it. And Kate was on top of that from the word go. So I just think what Benton Development does is important to this county. And she's brought a lot of business in. We have people now, clerks now, who will call and say, we've got a building for sale. You know anyone? Or we need a grant for this type of project. Is there anything in that realm? And they're really starting to feel that development is where you can go next. So I think, you know, I can't say the executive group or the development board is the greatest factor in it, is because we have the right people, the right executive director working all the time for it. So even during COVID, Kate was doing a bang-up job. So I just echo her sentiments, and you know, I'm president probably by default because I don't think anyone else wanted the job. It's not that I wanted it, I don't need the resume filled in.
Any questions?
Would it help on the clerks if you break it up north and south, that you'd have a meeting, say all the clerks at Kids Van Horn, Keystone, Barstown, meet down somewhere down south, you know what I mean?
I mean, that's a possibility.
Throw that out there.
I think part of the problem is, honestly, that's not a bad idea, but I think it defeats kind of the purpose of getting everyone together so that they can like build relationships with each other. But I think part of the problem that we're running into is those clerks are a one-man show in many of the communities, and they can't take an hour and a half out of the office and be somewhere. They don't have someone to cover for them, and they surely aren't going to come to an evening meeting, you know? So I think that is just trying to find that hot button that, you know, what works best for them, so.
Or trying to convince them they can take a 2-hour break in the middle of the day.
Mm-hmm.
I practically had to, my primary clerk, no problem, because after she'd been to it once, she understood the networking part of it. But my young clerk, I basically had to order her to go to the luncheon. And she goes, who'll watch the office? And I said, the city administrator can get out of his chair and run the office. And if he has to be somewhere, God forbid we close the office for 2 hours.
Yeah.
You know, on Wednesday, it's not the end of the world. Because before I became mayor, if there was an hour and a half, it wasn't open during the noon hour every day. So now, but the clerks, pretty tough group of people that just don't want to take time off. I don't know how many of them eat lunch at their desk, but I would fathom more of them stay in and bring their lunch than walk across the street or go somewhere else to have it. So I think that's a part of our problem, is trying to, and then anytime something comes up, they just text us, you know, can't make it, we get some cancellations. But you probably got a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
The other problem is trying to find a place to have it. We have more difficulty in trying to find someone who will host the event now than we used to.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a part of that's the whole employment situation in Benton County, Wayne County, and anywhere else you got.
That's about the only thing I can add for it.
Yeah.
You know, I've been attending
Yep.
the bigger stuff.
Yep. We're happy that you come.
You went to the brewery.
We did go to the brewery.
And I was the only one that had a beer.
You did have a beer, didn't you?
Well, now Kate's more involved with EasyCog, which I think is a plus. I think it's somebody who's got a real pulse of economic development. And it puts her in touch when she goes to those meetings with those people down there on what's the latest thing going on with grants and that kind of stuff directly from them. we all live in this world. If we send an email out, I have an administrator that believes you send an email out, good, your work's done. And I said, they don't read them all the time, where they read them real fast and quick. And I said that they go, oh yeah, I'll get on that tomorrow. And I said, you got to continue to talk to them. So sometimes, you know, we get stuff from EasyCog, but I would fathom there's only one EasyCog board member that goes through that agenda with a fine-tooth comb. I'm guessing he doesn't have anything else to keep himself busy with some of the questions he has. So, not going to mention names.
Awesome.
You'll find out Thursday.
This Thursday?
I believe so.
Okay. Will they send something out?
That'd be next Thursday.
Next Thursday.
Are you talking to your
Yeah, will they send something out?
26th, yes.
I gave them the contacts.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
First one you should get from Tracy Albright. Housing Trust Fund. You're gonna be on that.
Okay.
And you'll turn around after that's done, then you'll go to EasyCog.
Okay.
Same building, same,
Yeah. Cool.
down by National Homes.
Oh, I've been there because I'm.
Okay.
Did you
Yeah,
put me
you
back
did.
on the revolving loan fund
Yeah.
too?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And because you're a rookie on the executive board, you probably have to go to the hour-long rookie lecture too.
Awesome. Looking forward to it.
Separating from Iowa County has probably freed up a lot of your time, hasn't it?
Yeah, yes. Yes and no. A lot of the things I was doing regardless of where
Sure.
where I'm located. But, yeah,
So
I
does
mean-
Iowa County have their own director now?
no.
But
They just quit.
Their reasoning did not quite make sense. We're at this level and they're at this level, and they couldn't function with us being at a higher economic developed level. And
There's a lot of potential and a lot of good things going on in Iowa County, and I think for the year and a half that I was over there, I would like to say that we helped move the needle, and a lot of great came out of it. I mean, we had over $1 million in grants just by last October, just in grant money, and new opportunities spurred. Marengo applied to be a Main Street Iowa community. They stood up a development group. I think a lot of great things have happened, but I think from the board as a whole, from the county perspective, like, for one, the supervisors haven't bought into it yet. They don't see the need for it, and there's, they're basically, they operate like a chamber of commerce on a countywide level, and it just doesn't work, and that's where I was pulled in a lot of different directions, and a lot of times didn't make sense, so. It was better that we,
it's probably better we separated. I
Yeah.
wish we could have hired an assistant and given it a full year or 2 year shot. to
I
see what we
agree.
could have-
well, and like the playbook changed in the middle of the game as well. Like, that was always the intent, that they were gonna hire a full-time person to be my assistant, and that person was gonna help on both sides of the county, and that changed to a part-time person right off the get-go. Just 20 hours a week, and then they were frustrated that that person was spending time in Benton County, and the whole thing was a disaster from the get-go. I mean, it worked really well when I was just their contract employee, and I just worked on things that were important at the time. But then when we tried to do this merge, if you will, it just wasn't gonna work because we function so differently, and the focus points and priorities
It'll
are
be
so
all in or
different.
not. You really do. You gotta be part of it or not.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
committed.
And you just have to turn the day-to-day operation for economic development over to your executive director. You can't keep your fingers on it if you're the president of the organization or the secretary or whatever. Now, it took me a long time in coaching to realize that I hire assistant coaches, let them coach. I can't be on every end of the floor every night. And so you hire assistants, you tell them what you want, and same thing's true in everything we do here. It's true in business, it's true in any one of these governmental things. Hire good people and let them do the job. We hired a guy in Belle Plaine who is rebuilding the street sweeper instead of me spending $10,000 to $15,000 to ship it to Ankeny every year. It's gotta save me a ton of money. So they didn't want, or a couple of their people really didn't want to give Kate that much freedom. They wanted to know what was going on every minute of the day. And that's what they're looking for, is kind of just an assistant or a secretary to their board.
Which
what they're
actually,
really looking for.
they did hire somebody for that. She's 20 hours a week and she's doing like their social media, and I mean, they wanted me to do all their social media and all this stuff, and I don't have time to do Benton Development Group social media, let alone take that on. So it just, the priorities weren't aligned. I mean, I wish them well. We left on good terms. I will help them if they call me and have a question. I'm willing to do that, but good riddance.
I don't have any questions.
No, no, either.
Questions?
Okay. It's great that you learn from your coaching.
Oh. A lot of stuff in coaching applies to life, and that's what you teach kids. But you're not out here just to win basketball games, you're out here to learn about other things. So, if I would have continued as a head coach the way I did when I first started, I had to have my thumbprint on everything we did, I probably would have either got fired inside of 10 years or had a heart attack then and phased out, so.
Thank you for everything that you do.
Thank you.
You bet, thank you.
Thanks for having us in, and thanks for
Yep.
giving us a chance to talk, and,
Looks back?
Unless you guys want them or need them for me.
I don't remember, the report, you didn't have it on hard copy, they just had it at the meeting.
The downtown walk around
Yeah.
stuff,
Yeah.
so they just sent that in December, so
Okay.
they had suggestions, like, a lot of it's what they went over with in that final meeting,
Mm-hmm.
but, that's the full blown deal. If you'd like it, you can have it, I have lots of copies of it.
and why don't you mention why those 4 towns were selected?
Oh, so, I was in cahoots with the state folks months prior to, we started planning this back in probably May or June, last year, and they came in and did some sneaky driving around, some sneaky talking with people, not letting anybody know that they were state people. I think they made a total of 3 trips prior to even coming, and after that second or third trip, they sent me a list, and they're like, from initial thoughts, like, these are the 4 towns that we would like to focus on right now. And kind of gave us a synopsis of each community, like, for these reasons, this is why we want to go here, 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 and here. So I kind of let them lead us a little bit as far as that went. The other cool thing that they did make as an opportunity with that downtown walk around is they brought their architect with them as well, which is why we ended up with some of those cool drawings for some of those buildings and things. So it was a good thing. We had a ton of engagement, and like I said, there's some good things happening from that. So, but simple. I mean, some of it's very simple, like your wayfinding signage, or take the cigarette butts out of the gutter, or your bump outs, or just silly things, But all those things make a difference, and those make the first impressions to people looking, so.
I, used to bank up at Newhall.
Mhm.
Is there any chance of getting another bank in there?
No. That was Wells Fargo, was that Wells Fargo?
Yeah.
So they had, there's like a moratorium on it for X amount of years. That was part of the sale,
Really?
which is ultimately why it ended up in auction. Mhm. Yeah,
And again, a part of that's become generational. All this younger generation that does all the banking on their cell phone. So they take a picture of their check and that's how they deposit it and all that stuff. So the banks are looking and saying, brick and mortar, we don't need that. We just need one big building with a lot of computers.
I think, some of those bigger banks, we're gonna see more of that happening in our communities.
Well, I know the bank was interested in coming in there, now I know why they're not.
Yeah. I know of one too. They actually put an offer on it and then couldn't happen. So I believe it was 7 years is what I think.
I don't believe how it was, but I just thought, I was just throwing this out there to him, I said, I don't know that much about it, no attorney, but I says, couldn't you bought it, and turned around and sold it to you then? Wouldn't that wipe that out?
No,
think so.
I don't think, no, there was like a clause in there and it was 5 or 7 years or something like that, that you could
If
not.
they had a good attorney, no, there'd be a clause.
I know how their attorney.
Yeah. That building did sell at auction though, so
Yeah.
stay tuned.
Yeah.
And then, actually the bowling alley building
Mhm.
on Main Street in Newhall, that has sold since this downtown walk around as well.
Mhm.
So stay tuned on that one. So there's some good stuff happening.
That bank at Newhall ain't that much of a bank. If I wanted to put a bank there, I'd just build a new one, screw it.
Yeah, it's chopped, I mean, it's little, it's chopped up a bit, but that's a great building. Structurally.
Well cared for,
Mhm.
the attorney in town owned it,
Mhm.
he took good care of it.
There ain't much place to build anything in Newhall.
Alrighty.
Thank you.
Thank you. Did you, different note, maybe we should do it off, I'll call you, we'll do it off the record.
Yeah, you're getting broadcast.
Yeah, we don't want to be
Where do
live.
you guys have to be at, what time did you be at the park
Where?
today? Going to the park?
What part?
I said you guys are going somewhere after this.
I have
you
to
are.
go, yeah, I'm supposed to be there in 15
I was
minutes.
like, I just thought you guys,
I'll make a motion.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
like, I knew somebody had to go.
Hard, no